iPad over a little bit. I put it in the stand before I even put the title on the video. And let's see. Where? Oh, there's my remote.
Coach of the Oregon State Beavers and her husband Michael is the associate head coach. Nadia is in her 24th season, conference titles in 2011 and 2013, a five-time conference coach of the year. And 2 years ago, they had their best ever finish at Nationals under Tanya Chaplin, 6th place. Remember, 6 gymnasts will go in each rotation. You count your 5 best scores. You can go to red line from the lowest score. Christina Peterson will start off on vault for Oregon State. But every vault lineup since the beginning of her sophomore year last year.
And she starts them off very strong with a 10 start value vault. That's a different looking vault. You have the same round-off entry into the Yurchenko, but she does a full twist before she gets to the vault, and then a back tuck off. Really important to complete that twist before she hits the table so that she can be straight down the middle of the vault and land that tuck as she did there.
Nice start for Oregon State, and while the Beavers will be on vault, the Bears will be on bars. We started off with Nevaeh D'Souza, fittingly, the reigning Pac-12 Gymnast of the Week. Well, they 9-9s at all 4 events last week.
And she is pretty textbook. This routine almost looks easy for her. That hike Jaeger to the overshoot, done very nicely.
Now a sophomore, that was a career high time 9-9 last week.
And what I love about that, aside from the step landing, is how high she gets above the bar on that dismount. The judges like to see the flip and the twist being completed above the bar. Look at the height here. You'll see her Jaeger release move. And check out this dismount. High above the bar. Completing it there allows her time to spot the floor and nail that one.
Well done for Nevaeh D'Souza. A 9.75 for Christina Peterson, and now Kayla Bird. Her career high is 9.775, accomplished last February 15th at Utah and matched 3 weeks ago here against Washington.
Kayla Bird really came up clutch for the Beavers the last time out when they competed at Washington, subbing in for an injured Jane Honeywas on 2 events, including vault and floor. She'll get a sizable deduction on that landing. Otherwise, you see this vault over and over again. I'll mention it's out of a 9.95, so that's the maximum score she can get. Probably about 2/10 in deductions on the landing there.
You know, only a couple of gymnasts today will have a vault, a blind landing, and a 10-0 start value. Mentioned Jane Honeywas, we wish her our best. She had a knee injury, will be out the rest of the year.
And that's sort of the tale for the Beavers. Injuries throughout the lineups. I think they're really happy to be starting on vault. Their best event as are the Bears.
Home up at over 9-9 for Nevaeh D'Souza, and now here is Cal freshman Andy Lee.
And Andy from a club that is known for their bar work. Really special gymnast, excellent handstand, one of the most heralded recruits that Cal has landed for that reason. Just really clean, really difficult start to finish.
That club, Legacy Elite in Aurora, Illinois, owned by her parents, both who competed for China in the 1984 Olympics.
The judges look for a 180-degree handstand, basically just a straight line up to the ceiling. It's hard to get. Gymnasts are sometimes worried about falling over the bar. She landed perfectly in 180 there.
Andy Lee up to a good start. 9.725 for Kayla Bird.
And Caitlin doing that Yurchenko full out of the 9.95 has the potential to go perfect 9.95 if she can find the landing just the smallest of slides back there. Coach Chaplin said, you know, they had 2 weeks off from their last meet, and what she was working on is just the fine details. On that ball in particular, she wants to get a better angle on her block so that instead of the vault traveling backwards, she gets more height off the table that would allow her to drop in for that stick as opposed to still moving backwards on the landing. So
we will see her again when we get to the final rotation. Floor exercise for Oregon State. And now Diana George, a senior for Cal. Last week crossed a 9.9 on bars, the season best. And got back to career high.
And, you know, there are so many gymnasts on the Cal squad that we could talk about as being the fantastic all-arounders, fantastic routines, very nice Jaeger, a little more difficult, tough when you face the bar. And a nice hold on that bailed handstand to really show the judges that 180 degrees I was talking about. And nails her full twisting double back.
George, how about the Bears on their bar routine so far? Pair of 9.9s, and Hannah George very good as well.
Yeah, they are just on pace. Last week went 49.325. Could see that getting very close to that this week. This is their best event. Coach Justin Howell, known for being an excellent bars coach, as is the assistant who's hopping around down there, Janelle McDonald.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent across the board. 12th in the nation on bars, 13th on beam, 14th on vault, 17th on floor. A 98.75 for Keelan Yanish, and now Cindy Gonzalez, a freshman from Oregon State from Newport Beach, California.
Look for the twisting vault out of her as well. Nicely done. She does the height back off of the vault once she completes that full turn. Like I said, that vault out of a 10.0 start value. Doesn't quite make that full turn. You want her hands to finish facing back to the vault before she does the flip.
Three consecutive round nines for Cal. And now Nina Shank, a senior from Brooklyn, from the High in week one, and has been in the vault bars and floor lineups each of the last 2 weeks.
Previous gymnasts in the lineup. So it's just a different look. It's a really nice line, and she shows off the handstand positions. And she does a double layup dismount. Finds the stick. She had fallen on that the first week of the season and lands it perfectly that time. Check out this double layup. In the air, keeps the legs together. She piped down a little bit more than I would have liked. Judges like to see your chest and torso up on your landing.
Way to go for Nina. 9.9 in week one, then the fall, then the 9.8 last week. Another good race for Cindy Gonzalez in 9.8. And now here is Lacey Dagan, a 6th-year senior from Oregon State.
Two Dagan sisters anchoring the lineup. Lacey, the older sister, doing her champion full.
Only time we'll see her today.
She had off-season knee surgery, so is slowly working her way back. She'll also eventually this season be back on balance beam. A really clean vault. Like Yanish, she wants to work on rising a little more off the table to drop in for the stick.
Lacey Dagan, in a moment we will see her sister Maddie. In the meantime, another 9.9 for Cal. Incredible. Maya Morris.
He's on the judges there.
In every bars lineup this year, a high of 9.825 a couple of weeks ago. And Arizona, her career high 9.95. So she's certainly capable of a 5th consecutive 9.9.
And that is the highest straddle Jaeger we have seen so far. Super high above the bars. This is really where she excels. And finds the double tucks stop landing. What a clinic the Bears are putting on with these bars landings today.
Maya Borders, first team All Pac-12 on bars last year, second team All-American.
Check the height on this straddle yanker. Basically a front flip before she catches, and then connected down to the overshoot. And sticks the landing, and everyone elevates.
That is great. And finally, on vault for Oregon State, athlete 9-9 by Lacey Dagan. Several of the time we were going to see her, and she made it count. That was her sister, Maddie.
Maddie will do a Chico 1.5. And unfortunately, on those forward landings, you can't see the floor where you're going to land. So she opened up a little bit too early. Could tell she was going for the stick that she got in her first 3 meets of the season.
Yeah, she was second in the nation on vault until last week in Washington when she caught her just a 9.5. And so back-to-back poor vaults in competition for Maddie Dagan. She'll be in 3 other lineups today. She'll have to bounce back from that.
Just a little under-rotated on that difficult vault.
So not people need a chance for a 9.925. They just keep getting better. Mortis a 9.5.
Maya Green here, gymnastics pedigree. Both of her parents competed in college and coached in the conference. Her mom at Stanford and her dad at Cal.
Dad Scott, a former gymnast at Cal, and coached the men's team. Kristen Smith, a star gymnast for the Golden Bears, is in the Hall of Fame.
She is showing off, really extending her hips on those handstands. Just the smallest of steps on the landing.
Originally, there was going to be Emmy Watterson in that spot, but at the last moment, they decided to have Maya go.
Look at that, just showing the judges, almost extending beyond 180 with that open hips into the ginger there, like that she kept her legs together on the catch.
We have 1 rotation on the books here. And the California Golden Bears, studs on bars, and they showed their stuff. They had 4 scores, maybe 5 scores of 9-9 or better. We'll be back with the second rotation. Again, for Alice in a moment.
It's time for a talk. If you're 45 or older, you need to get yourself screened for colon cancer. This disease can be very treatable when caught early, so the sooner you know what's up with your health, the better. The good news is that there's options for getting screened that are easier than you think. Get informed. If you're a man or a woman, 45 or older, take control. Get screened for colon cancer. StandUpToCancer.org/colon cancer.
You're up at 5 a.m.
Your first stop of the day is the weight room.
Resilience turns your fatigue into...
This was on Pac-12 Oregon. So it was the Oregon State Beavers versus the California Bears.
Really nicely done.
That gets it up to a good start on vault for the Golden Bears. Has been consistent in 3 lineups throughout a 3-year career, but never got a rigid bars routine until Preston DeSoto 3 weeks ago here versus Washington.
Yeah, Maddie is missing a requirement on bars. She should get a 1 time up to the level deduction, but she's in that lead-up spot and in the lineup because she's consistent. Because she can go out and deliver for the Beavers as she does there with that step double tap dismount.
Yeah, good for her. That says a lot about her stepping into a lineup there that she's not really used to, especially coming off the fall on vault and performing well.
And to get into that lineup on the shortened preseason that they had is even more impressive.
A 9-9 for Nina Shank. Maya Burris now.
She kicks down a little bit, so when you bend that hip angle, typically leads you to hop back like she did there. Judges want to see a straight body the entire time. Solid height, but just the slide back.
Ava Hoyland, a freshman for Oregon State, is up next. Every ball's lineup here in her freshman year, and has had 2 hits and 2 falls. 775 and week 2. Further in that title, working on breathing and mindfulness. You can see her right there to calm her before her routine.
And she has been exceptional on bars as a club athlete. Does a nice Jaeger, good skills. But it's times like this that really test that mental toughness. When you are waiting, I think, yeah, the judges, when you have to take that up to level deduction, they need to make sure that they're on the same page about that. So there was a little bit of a delay after a coach's conference on Maddie Dagan's score. Thus, the wait here for Hoyland.
Yeah, how much of an effect is this? It's like calling a timeout before the free throw shooter can shoot the free throws or icing the kicker.
Right, it's sort of an unintentional icing by the judges here.
Caitlin Hoyland, a freshman from Kent, Washington. And here we go. 3-time Junior Olympic National Championships qualifier.
A little bit of a flexed feet on the catch on that kick Jaeger. Not sure she intended for that overshoot to go to handstand or not. Could affect her start value if it was supposed to. Finds the landing, great job to overcome that judge's delay at the beginning.
Well, good routine for Caitlin Hoyland. I would say that breathing and mindfulness are paying off.
Exactly. So there's her major release, that Jaeger. You want to see her toes pointed the entire time. Just a few little form errors to clean up for the freshman.
9825 for Maya Flores. Here is Rosie, her first appearance of the day.
Looks like she's setting up for the Yurchenko full vault. She has an arsenal of different options she can perform. And goes with the vault today. Coach Liz.
Call Lisa, part of the 9-8 last week.
Yeah, so she has competed a tucked 1.5. She's competed a layup 1.5. And Coach Liz said in the offseason they thought, like, let's try perfecting the Yurchenko full this time. They want to see her flare out at the end to help her get the stick.
To the traffic.
Really nice job with her Maroni there. I like the circles that she did into it on the low bar.
Dismounts.
Double it. Small step forward. A really good job from a mental toughness standpoint.
A big fist bump from assistant coach Brad Rochelle.
She was getting her power from the Beyonce playing in the background.
Got you back from that fall on bars a couple of weeks ago.
And there are some execution errors there in the pipe down. It's not as high as you want it to be. Did a good job finding the floor.
Posey at 9.775 on Herva. After a long way, here's Nevaeh D'Souza, who carved a 9-9 on bars. It was 5 consecutive routines for the disciplines in the 9-9.
And there's her 1.5. A little bit of a college silhouette there as she tries to hold on to it before hopping forward.
Make it look good, right?
Exactly. Try to sell it. We saw Maddie Dagan under-rotate this. Nevaeh slightly over-rotates it. Has to take that step forward. Her shoulder angle on the vault was a little bit closed, and so she didn't quite quite get the height and the rotation that you'll want to see from that vault.
Here's it. Her run of 9.9s will come to an end. Now Nia Mack, a senior for Oregon State. This year, the walk-on, her fourth year of the program, has competed on bars for the first time ever. She had a fall in her first routine and sets this car with a 9.75 and a 9.575. This is her fourth competitive collegiate bars routine, coming in her senior year.
And these judges are just not on the same page, which is really frustrating for all parties involved today. Ariana's routine was not particularly, unique. I didn't see anything that would be a cause for concern, but when they are conferencing, it means that they were not aligned on the start value. And they have to be aligned on the start value and within a certain number of tenths before they can flash that score.
All the while, Nia Mack waits. She's one of the Oregon State leaders in their Dam Change program. Dam as in Beaver Dam, D-A-M. The Dam Change movement formed by a group of Oregon State students, and it's to seek change in social justice, racial injustice, in Black History Month. Athletes encouraged to bring stories to the gymnastics team, and Nia told her teammates the story of Claudette Colvin, who at age 15 in 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama, refused to give up her seat in the bus to a white man. With 9 months before, the more widely known incident resulted in Rosa Parks.
Matt putting together a clean bar routine. Didn't get that strap back to the handstand position, but like Maddie Dagan, Nia put together a bar routine and made the lineups for the first time in her career. So you can see the celebration to, as a senior, 4 years of not competing bars and then to break into the lineups because your team needed you is just a testament to her strength and resilience. That's the highlight of her routine there, that full twisting double back.
Yes, it is. Nia Mack, the walk-on from Memphis. Let's see what again for 9825 for D'Souza. And here's kind of George. Get a 9.9 on bars.
Kayana has arguably one of the best Yurchenko fulls in the conference, and she can't even do the 1.5. It's a debate, though, that do you go for the more difficulty and risk the landing, or do you show a near perfect vault like that one there with just the smallest slide backs?
As co-head coach Liz Crandall-Howell said, we want to go for the beautiful. And when they can go for the beautiful with a 1.5, then she'll do that. Next, Kayla Bird, sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. She suffered a fall on bars in week 1, but bounced back for a couple of these routines the past 3 meets. Last week, master season high of 9.775.
From my vantage point, looks like the judges have aligned on the start value for Matt. They both gave her 1/10 up to the level deduction. So, hopefully, Kayla doesn't have to wait quite as long.
Explain that, up to the level deduction.
So there are certain requirements that every gymnast needs to hit on each routine to start out of the 10. She gets all of them, but there is a requirement for a certain number of D elements and connected elements that Nia doesn't have, and they knew that going in. But they need her score, and they needed her to hit as she did.
There's Kayla Bird. All 14 weeks of her collegiate career. Only apparatus for your chest crew.
There's a huge Takachev.
A lot of air.
A lot of air. She's gearing up for her full out and finds the landing.
She sticks, and Kayla Bird expected to do the all-around today.
It's a big full in after that big Takachev. Check where her hips are. About She catches a little bit close.
There she's flying like a bird.
I would say that's appropriate today.
Get her score in a moment. 9.925 for Diana George.
Near perfect. Just that slide back. The only deduction those judges took.
That matches her career high.
Super clean, just a little bit of flexed feet was the only
Excuse
thing I
me.
saw aside from the slide back there. She was a late addition to the lineup, replacing Abby Solari. Really clean, makes that vault look easy.
We'll likely see Andy again on beam.
She's one of the heralded freshmen, along with Gabby Torreya.
Gabby, an excellent gymnast, and her body kind of recovering right now. So you won't see her today. Christina Peterson at a 9.75 on vault. Her first two collegiate bars routines came in weeks 1 and 2 this year. 9.55 in week 1 and a fall in week 2. Extended. The lack of recent experience, she's a USA Gymnastics Region 2 champion on bars in 2017.
You can tell she's not really hitting those handstands and rushing through this a little bit, so a lot of built-in deductions there.
Doesn't have a major release yet.
Exactly. So missing that major release means she'll get that 1/10 up to the level of deduction, but she does have that exciting double front dismount. Hard to land those, and hers travels a little farther away from the bars than you want. You want that her to hold on a teeny bit longer so that can rise and she can find the floor.
All in all, though, a much better bar set for Oregon State than they had recently. We've got 2 rotations in the book. We're going to head to the floor and the beam coming up next here in Corvallis.
Are you a veteran who wants to get your VA benefit payments without?
Oregon, home of the Oregon State Beavers and the Oregon Ducks. Available.
Well, we've got 2 rotations in the books, and the Golden Bears are going to head to the floor, and the beams will be on balance beam, and Christina Peterson will start matters off. Carla to 9.85 at the most recent meet 2 weeks ago in Washington, matching her career high set last year. This is the 5th competitive beam routine of her college career. The junior from Tukwila, Washington.
And this is her first time this season in the leadoff spot. They've been playing with the lineup as they enter their 5th meet today. She'll do a triple series here. Watch how close she gets to the end of the beam with that layout step out. Her heel basically in line with the end cap.
Christina Peterson, human development major, minor in photography, multi-time Scholastic All-American.
She'll gain her off hand with the pike. And dismount. A hit routine in that leadoff spot might be a good one for her to continue in moving forward.
Nice job for Christina Peterson.
Here's the gainer pike. You're running forward but flipping backwards and finds the landing.
Just the 5th competitive beam routine of her collegiate career. She nails it. Here's the athlete named Grace Quinn, who will start off with our first floor routine of the day. Primarily a floor specialist, but in every lineup this year, with her season high of 9.85 coming last week against ASU. Former international elite gymnast, bronze on vault in 2015 at the Secret U.S. Classic. Top 10 all around, 2014 and 2015 PNG championships.
Very nice execution. Layout for Ruby. She just does 2 tumbling passes. You just have to have 3 different saltos. She took care of 2 of those in that first pass.
Chris has battled injuries much of her career. She trains everything but bars right now. But competing right now only on floor.
Like we said earlier, Cal has so much depth that making it into the lineup is a real challenge each week. Little hop back there on her double pike.
Still well done.
Very solid lead off for Grace Quinn. And she gets an extra bonus point for doing this double salto, double pike there at the end. And just rewarding the difficulty and encouraging harder skills at the end of the routine.
All the better with just the 2 tumbling passes. Now Caleb Bird for Oregon State. Waiting to score on Christina Peterson, her teammate that led off on beam for OSU. Oregon State 24th in the country on beam. High 40 now too, with the Peterson beat a couple of weeks ago. And Christina Peterson got started off very nicely with the 9.925. Kayla had a 9.725 on vault, 9.85 on bars. Step in for Jane Pottywas on vault and beat last week in Washington, and Pottywas was injured on bars.
Hesitation there in that connection. When you go front to back, the judges want to see consistent movement on that after series.
And the all-around each of the last 2 meets. Expected to do it today. Did it once last year, back at the collegiate debut in January 2020.
That was a great save. That switch leap half is a challenging move. And she did a great job to recover and stay on the beam when both of her feet basically slipped off.
That really showed something there. I'm not sure how she did that.
The cat-like reflexes to grab the beam again. Let's take a look. Switch leap goes halfway and basically lands on one foot. One slides off completely her back foot, the ones that she needs to really plant on the beam. So an exceptional save all around.
You don't get extra points for an exceptional save.
I mean, I think you should.
I think you should for that. 97.5 for Grace Quinn, matches her collegiate career high. Now Maya Bordas, got a 9.825 on vault. Following the 9.925 on bars. Doing the floor line the past 2 weeks. A high of 9.85 kind of 2 weeks ago.
Easy double tap to start. Easy for her.
Black History Month. Maya comes from a mixed-race family. Coaches said her voice was important in the team's many conversations about social justice.
Maya is the team's representative to the GPAC.
That's a group of gymnasts across the conference that have gotten together to promote positive response to racial injustice. That announcement came out in January. It's nice for the entire conference to get in on it.
It's unique to see that alignment across the conference on such an important issue. close with them. From handspring groovy, a front flip with 1.5 twists. Nice dramatic finish.
Matt Portis performed the all-around last week for the first time this year, and will do the same today.
It's 25th in the all-around after that one all-around performance.
A 9.7 for Caleb Brewer. And now here is Ariana Young, her second of 2 appearances today at a 9.725 on bars. Been in 2 previous beam lineups here in her freshman year, a fall in week 2, and then 9.625 2 weeks ago in week 3. The coaches said that they would watch her warm-ups and decided she'd be in the beam lineup, so she looked good.
Right there, she was supposed to connect a back tuck out of that front aerial. So I'm not sure if she totally changed her routine composition or if she improvised that back handspring layout. Either way, a very nice flight series.
How much do the judges know about what's expected from the routine heading into it?
So they should not have any preconceived notion. Even if they've watched it over and over, they should be judging what's happening in real time. Just a super routine there by the freshman. Really nice stuck dismount on that front gainer full. Swings the back leg, twists, you can see her eyeing the beam and then spotting the floor to stick the landing.
Freshman from San Mateo, California, bright future, Ariana Young. Talking with head coach Tanya Chaplin. 9.825 for Portis, and now here is Lavea D'Souza. Carved a new career high 9.9 last week at home against Arizona State to cap off an incredible meet in which all 4 scores were exactly 9.9.
A little bit overcooked on that double pipe. Takes a large step.
It's great watching the teammates get into it.
Good job bringing the energy into the arena.
As a gymnast, Lisa, how do you follow up a meet like she had last week with 4 scores of exactly 9.9?
You know, Liz talked about that. She is so consistent all the time and is always looking forward to what she can improve on, what can she do next.
Gymnast of the week.
There's her ready to close. That was a nicer landing there that we saw on those first 2. From Lavea D'Souza.
Last year's Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Milan Clausia, the Golden Bears, had won it the previous year.
So watch the white tape here when she lands this front full that she bounds out of the 1.5. Your foot can't step over the tape, but it can step on the tape. And she just walked that line perfectly. So she'll get a little deduction on the foot fault, but not the out of bounds deduction.
Chatting with co-head coach Liz Crandall-Howell. 9.75 for Ariana Young. And now Jenna Domingo, her first appearance of the day. 9.725, a career high for Ariana Young. Domingo's been in 2 of the 4 beam lineups this year. Solid 9.825 and even better 9.85 in the most recent week at Washington.
Here's her flight series. I talked about the forward to backwards movement there. She does a nice job connecting it, just a slight bobble on the back tack. You can see how narrow that beam is. They over and over call it 4 inches. It's actually 10 centimeters. And so it's not quite 4 inches. And she is just doing a masterful job so far, staying on all 10 centimeters.
Good beam workers will say that you have to become friends with the beam.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear it out on the TV world, but her Hawaiian culture is showing through. She's playing some Hawaiian music. The gymnasts sometimes get to choose the music playing while she's on the beam, especially when you're at home. Channeling Hawaii.
From Kapolei, Hawaii, her hometown is on Oahu, west of Honolulu.
128.37 to 127.112.
9.775 for Nevada D'Souza. And now here is Nina Shank. At a 9.725 last week on the heels of her season high, 9.825 2 weeks ago. Her father Richard also in the count with his bachelor's and master's degrees.
Double tuck to start. When the gymnasts land, they will take one lunge backwards, or if they're coming forwards, they can take one step forward. Otherwise, those feet need to stay still to avoid a landing deduction. Unfortunately, a few steps back on that double pike, but manages to stay inside the lines, at least from our angle up here. And a little labored on that 1.5 to front layout, but gets it under her feet. She had struggled with that earlier in the season. For one of the hardest events to get your endurance back after the shortened preseason that they had, there's no way to replicate tumbling and dancing. And so, like I said earlier, as Cal progresses in their season, we're going to see their scores and their endurance only continue to grow.
Usually begin training in late August, and they were unable to begin until early October.
It's hard to overstate the impact of that. These gymnasts have never gone that long in their careers being out of the gym.
9.775 for Jenna Domingo, and now here is Sydney Gonzalez, freshman for Oregon State. 4 for 4 on beam here in her freshman year. 3 routines at 9.8 or better, and a pair of event titles. 2 weeks ago, was surpassed at 9.9 at ASU.
And this connection is really unique in college gymnastics. 2 front skills connected, beautifully landed.
Club coach Whitney Watson, former beaver gymnast, primarily a vaulter, 2007 to 2010. Sydney from Newport Beach, California.
There's that switch half that we saw Kayla Berg save on. Hers didn't quite hit 180 degrees. The judges want to see the split to be parallel with the balance beam. This is another fantastic hit routine though. 5 for 5 for the freshman on beam.
Yeah. And today she had a 9.8 on falls. Now a strong routine on beam. Take a look at that. What you were talking about here with
the front aerial, so she flips forwards and then into a side semi with straight legs. So flipping forwards, you can't spot the beam, and then lands sideways again, blind landing, and she finds it perfectly.
a reason to celebrate. Final time we'll see Sydney Gonzalez today. 9.55 for Anita Shank. And now, here's Kiana George. At a 9.9 on bars and 9.925 on balls. Kiana almost gave up the score because of mental blocks, but Olympic gold medalist J.C. Phelps helped her overcome them.
Wow, that is tumbling pass in connection to the front tuck. Difficult start, but very well.
Really found her passion for the sport again. COVID changed her approach to gymnastics, not knowing whether they'd be able to come back. And when they did, it provided a measure of gratitude that her coaches say really freed her up. With the judges there.
And a really clean Ruby. She just needs 2 passes. It's got so much difficulty in her dance and in her first pass. Just an excellent routine. So this front layup has 2 twists in it. It's an E move, the most difficult, rewarded move on floor that you can do. And this Rudy is just easy for her and actually gets a 10th of bonus for closing with a D element there. The alphabet given values to each move by the judges, and that's how they tally up their scores.
And now Maddie Dagan. 9.775 for Sydney Gonzalez. Maddie anchoring the beam routine for Oregon State. Looking to bounce back from 9.3 on vault. She had a 9.675 and more unfamiliar routine on bars. And now here on beam, she's won the beam title in all 4 previous meets this year. She's 9.99, came 3 weeks ago at ASU.
Her beam song, a little Stevie Nicks to calm her down for the event.
Actually, thunder only happens when it's raining. It's probably not
Covers
just
up a little
Stevie
bit there,
Nicks,
which
but
we said. Do one
Stevie
more
Nicks
jump
and
on the end.
Fleetwood Mac. Because Stevie Nicks was in the group with Fleetwood Mac.
How important is it to smile and show that you're having fun?
You know, it doesn't impact your score necessarily, but really helps you calm down.
But I do love that song, Thunder
When you're
Happens.
competing, which on a 10-centimeter 4-inch beam is really important. Whatever you can do to get comfortable. Here's her side aerial into the layout and a nice stick. It's important on the landing to have your feet as close together as possible, or at least be able to slide your heels together, but hers were glued the entire time.
Yeah, well done for Maddie to bounce back from that vault earlier. A 9.9 for Kiana George. Have a 10th off her career high, and now here is Maya Green at a 9.825 on bars. Wasn't expected to be in this lineup, but again, the coaches checked her out in warm-ups, and here she is. Said she's been pushing to get in the floor line. She's a sophomore. This is her first ever competitive collegiate floor routine.
Clean start. Dances right out of that front full. One she did in combination there very difficult to get bonus points for that. Bounce back. And really good job in her debut in the floor lineup.
Indeed. All smiles for Maya Green and one. Cal Gymnastics was at a low point. They had finished the previous season ranked 49th in the nation. And they have now qualified for 8 straight NCAA regionals and made the NCAA championships in 2016 and 2018, the second and third ever appearances for Cal.
Arm fault there on her front toss.
Waffle for Flossie. She's 82 for 83 in her career. Her only fall came 2 weeks ago on vault at Arizona. Her mom, Melissa Marlowe, an Olympic gymnast for the United States in 1988, was an All-American 4 years at Utah.
One of my favorite gymnasts to watch growing up is her mom.
Dad Joe played football at Utah in the late 1980s, one of the best pass rushers the Utes have ever had.
And this routine is short and sweet and sticks the landing really well done aside from that arm bobble. Really very few other deductions aside from that, exactly what you want in your leadoff position. That cat leap there, jump that goes into this just not, that's an example of the A moves that I talked about. You need 3 of those, 3 B's and 2 C's.
Blackman will start off for Oregon State on the floor. This is her 11th collegiate floor routine in competition, sprinkled over her 4 years. Her high this season came in the most recent meet at Washington.
Bounding front moves to start.
Notice on this next time of the match, she'll be using a 4-inch mat. She'd like to have them removed by the end of the season, though it's not a deduction to have.
And the shortened preseason, they just haven't tumbled as much as they typically would at this point in the season. So important to protect their bodies on these hard landings. And again, there's no deduction for it. From an aesthetic purpose, some gymnasts don't like to have it in if their ankles can handle it. Very nice landing on the double height.
The coaches will tell you that she's one of the hardest workers they have. Tell her to do something and she'll do it tenfold.
I like that they literally have their own cheering section complete with pom-poms. Does a little Hunger Games salute there. Those are some former gymnasts that are student managers. Isis Lowry, one of them, on the sidelines.
This has had a nice floor routine of her own.
They don't need fans to have a good time on floor here.
Without fans, you're performing for your teammates. Maya Mack, sister Maria, former gymnast at Kent State. 1975 from Mount Plaza, your now here is Nevaeh D'Souza. Probably did her high 9-9 last week at home against Davis to cap off that incredible meet. And then on B, also a 9-9. She got all 4 routines. Last year's Pac-12 freshman of the year, even better this year.
Well connected from aerial into her zone. and you could tell in the middle of that series there, her hips were off when she set for the layout. It's impossible to straighten your
They are. So they actually sketched out these Leos in the summer, and this team is very proud and honored to just be wearing this during the meet. It's not just a shirt or a ribbon. They're wearing this throughout the entire meet. A very regal, beautiful design. And the black gymnasts on this team feel very empowered and poised while wearing them. And this means the world to them and to me, actually. You know, it's a celebration of those who paved the way for the black community. Broken down
So this is a
that we can do what we
UCLA.
love, whether it's the sport we play or any ambition that we want to do.
The Leo designed by Associate Head Coach Christina Caporti, of course a Bruin gymnast back in the day and a great one, and student athletes Nia Dennis, Roxana Frazier, Sakai Wright, Shay Campbell, all should be in action today, and they'll have a part of it, so they have ownership of this today, and it's personal. Head Coach Chris Waller, well, he was pretty excited after they lost in Utah last week. Why was he so excited? Well, UCLA posted a season best, but this is what he said. I am really, really inspired by that meet. A whole bunch of fierce competitors were awakened in that meet. You could feel them battle. It was fun. They were fierce, and they wanted to win. They wanted to fight to the very end. It was great. That's what Bruins are all about. It was fun to see everybody bring it. So Waller thinks that his team is coming together, coalescing at just the right time. Remember, we're just a couple weeks out from the Pac-12 championships, and that's going to be the biggest meet of the year if they don't have an NCAA championship. It's still scheduled. Everything is still on board right now. But for Waller, this team is getting better at the right time. For Oregon State, it is a reunion at home.
I think I already
Tanya
posted
Chapman,
this
the
meet.
head coach and the all-time winningest coach in Oregon State history, and her husband and associate head coach, Michael Chaplin, are proud graduates of UCLA. They both graduated here in '90, and of course both were gymnasts. In fact, Tanya Chaplin was fantastic, a two-time Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year. She was the first gymnast ever to win that award. Michael Chaplin was on UCLA's 1987 men's NCAA title team, and his teammate was Chris Waller. So that's the gymnastics community. It's always pretty tight. And this one, they've known each other for 40 years, these coaches.
He's always connected somehow.
UCLA is the home team, and the Olympic work will begin on the vaults. And that's good for Bruin fans because
Maybe this isn't.
Their second highest total this year to win at Washington County. Meanwhile, 197 last week in a home win over ASU. And our meet features a pair of husband and wife coaching teams. And for Cal, co-head coaches Justin Howell and Liz under time.
That tech off. Really important to complete that twist before she hits the table so that she can be straight down the middle of the vault and land.
Maybe
that
this
touch that
isn't
she
the
did there.
meet I was.
Nice start for Oregon State. And while the Beavers will be on vault, the Bears will be on bars. And started off with the Vea D'Souza, fittingly, the reigning Pac-12 gymnast of the week. Started 9-9s in all 4 events last week.
Thanks for using Locast.org, the nonprofit that makes local, over-the-air broadcast available to everyone. Just $5 each month covers the cost of delivering your local broadcast channels. Please help Locast by becoming a member today.
She's a freshman. She looks comfortable. She looks confident. She looks like she belongs.
Campbell, again, wasn't a name that we were talking a lot about coming into this meet because we had the Nia Dennis and Mars Frazier show. Dennis scratched. It'll be interesting to see why she pulled out after her floor routine. But Shay Campbell was so consistent tonight. This freshman from Texas. Texas. Hoping.
Everybody, I'm Brian Weber, pleased to be joined by Amanda Borden, the Olympic gold medalist. It is great to have you with us for this top 10 showdown. Amanda, we're spotlighting the two highest ranked teams in the conference. Cal, undefeated this year. Utah's only lost once, heading back to last season.
No, that can't be the meet. I mean, the meet that I was watching, it was at the over an hour. I don't know where it is. Did I delete it by mistake?
And they
and share ideas on what to do should they face one. All of this will help them be safe.
Living in the middle of the warped world of Sabrina Couliday is Sophie Leonet. Within months of her arrival in England, the young French au pair was working 80 hours a week and being given little or sometimes no food by some.
And they are both coming off big wins. For Utah, they just edged out UCLA, and for Cal, their highest team score of the season. Both teams have hit the 197.4 mark, which means both teams have a chance to win this here tonight.
Plenty of star power will be on display in this meet. Let's start with Utah. Molly O'Keefe, leading contender to win the Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year award.
Well, she's been the Pac-12 Gymnast of the
I think
Year
I'll
3
do
times, and she is a national force because she has the stunning form, she has the strong difficulty, she fights for perfection like that, and she's consistent. That's made her ranked 9th in the all-around. But where she makes her biggest mark is on the balance beam. She's won 10 event titles, 4 of them on the balance beam, where she's ranked 3rd. She also earned her first career perfect 10. So she is the top contender in the all-around here tonight.
California will counter with their deepest team in years, paced by Diana Jordan.
And 1 in extras. And for Alabama,
This was supposed to be over 2 hours of SEC gymnastics, but baseball went in the extra innings, or softball.
The first SEC championship was 40 years ago. And this time, we have built champions,
Gymnastics is incredible.
and dynasties.
Georgia will bring home their 16th championship.
We have taught our gymnasts about passion and resilience.
First bars performance since 2016.
One of my favorite faults in gymnastics.
And we smile when we see them fly.
Trinity Thomas in her second perfect 10 tonight.
Today is way overdue. know you're ready.
So excited. I love the energy.
It's time to add your story to a new chapter of the SEC Championships.
Welcome inside the Von Braun Center in Huntsville, Alabama, for our live coverage of the 2021 SEC Gymnastics Championships. Teams are competing in two separate sessions today. Earlier today, we saw Kentucky, Auburn, and Missouri. Georgia did not compete as a result of positive COVID tests and contact tracing. Now, those scores from session 1 will be compiled with the scores from tonight's session 2 to determine who brings home the SEC Championship. Hi everyone, I'm Bart Connor, along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. We had a great day of gymnastics this afternoon, led by Kentucky, but all three teams did especially well.
Nadia
And
Comaneci
Missouri,
was
first of all,
the
did
first
themselves proud
gymnast
and
to
really
score
showing their last balance beam.
for
Well, Kentucky
Romania.
and Auburn pushed
And
each
Bart
other to the
Connor
lead. Auburn's youth and
was an
inexperience showed up here
American
and there, while
gymnast.
Kentucky started strong on vault.
Back in
and
the
stayed locked in on those
80s
cues of the details that matter in scoring.
70s.
They now have the score to beat, 196.825.
Now, session 2 features the top 4 teams in the SEC, which also happen to be 4 of the top 10 teams in the country, and features 5 of the top 10 all-around athletes in the nation, including Trinity Thomas, Luisa Blanco, Kennedy Hambrick, Haley Bryant, and Megan Skaggs. However, the #1 gymnast, Florida's Trinity Thomas, is limited to just one event, the uneven bars, because of a sprained ankle from an unusual fall a couple of weeks ago.
And it happened in the warm-ups of the last competition. She slipped off and under-rotated her double back, hurting both ankles. She was very distraught. They pulled her out of all the lineups. We thought she would be back full strength and competing at the SEC Championships. They want to be cautious. And so she was out of the lineups, but surprise, we discovered that she warmed up bars, and we'll get to see her in that event.
That's certainly good news. Look at what she means to this team. She leads the NCAA on uneven bars floor and the all-around. She had a 39.9 in the all-around, which ties for the 5th highest score in the history of women's collegiate gymnastics. And she scored 3 perfect 10s this year. We'll see her tonight in one event. Now, LSU is at full strength, and they have LSU's freshman phenom, Haley Bryant, who's already making a significant impact.
She came in as one of the most highly anticipated impact freshmen and immediately lived up to the hype. Most impressively, she continued to work and improve each week on all 4 events. A stellar event, the vault, where she rockets off the table with uncanny amplitude and finally stuck the landing and got the 10 she's been chasing all season long.
These amazing women are ready to go. And in Women's History Month, we've asked each school to select one woman to pave the way for the team's current success. Florida has selected Ann Woods Smith.
Ann Woods Smith was Florida's first Broderick Award winner in 1982, and that same year she won the AIAW All-Around Uneven Bars and Floor Exercise National titles, helping deliver the Gators to an AIAW National Team title. Smith was also a 2007 recipient of the NCAA Silver Anniversary Award. Florida honors Ann Woods Smith in celebration of Women's History Month.
State Farm commercial. Yeah, thank you.
Is that Jake from State Farm?
Things are gonna go surprisingly great. Like State Farm surprisingly great rates.
What's up, family?
Oh, good.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tommy John is for men who value themselves and their comfort, who want fabrics that are lightweight, breathable, and insanely soft, with stay-put waistbands that adapt for the perfect fit. 360-degree stretch prevents ride-up and supports any move you make, and mind-blowing innovations like our Quick Trough line. We've also reinvented loungewear. Yeah, loungewear. You can trust our thousands of 5-star reviews, because Tommy John knows how comfortable you want to be.
Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com.
The King's Return. Download now.
Excellence is in the details.
A deep knowledge of the sport.
And of the market.
Impeccable guidance and a legacy of proven success.
Putting in the work.
With all of this, I'm equipped to handle anything that can come my way.
We are powered by Homelight.
Powered by Homelight.
Powered by Homelight.
The best teams in the world are powered by Homelight.
Find out how home life can power you at homelight.com.
Welcome back to Huntsville. The competition set to go. Just a quick reminder of how this event works. Seeds 5 through 8 competed earlier today in session 1. What we're going to see now is seeds 1 through 4 in session 2. All 4 apparatus will run simultaneously. 6 athletes will compete on each apparatus. Just the top 5 scores count toward the team total. The judging is a little different than the regular season. Here there are 4 judges. The high and low scores are dropped and they average the 2 scores in the middle. But as an added benefit, we have something fun for our gymnastics fans. A reminder, you can watch every single routine of your favorite team on the ESPN app. Each apparatus has its own channel as well as the all-around channel, with every apparatus going at once. In this first rotation, Florida's on ball, LSU bars, Arkansas beam, and Alabama floor.
Jasmine Bober opens up for Florida on ball with a Yurchenko fall and a very solid landing. Kaya Johnson on the bars for LSU. A high double layout. What a phenomenal start. Huge amplitude throughout that routine.
Kiara Gianfagna on beam for Arkansas and Alabama on floor with Alonza Clough.
Arkansas is ranked 11th on this event. We had a good first meet, then struggled a little bit with consistency on this event, but toward the end of the season really started to lock in this lineup, get their confidence, get their rhythm.
LSU is on the bars, Florida's on the ball, Alabama's on the floor, Arkansas is on the beam. So that must have been an Arkansas over, because
LSU
she
went to
was
the
on
bars.
the beam.
Alabama is on the floor, and that left for the 4th seeded team, Arkansas, the beam. We talked to Jordan Weaver, the head coach at Arkansas, about it the other day. She said, you can either turn that into a positive or not.
Well, they just turned it into a positive because they opened strong. That lead-off performance, very important in this event.
Allie Lazar, just a freshman, has already made a huge impact for Florida. She's coming after Jazzy Fober, led them off in the
985 for the Gators.
Oh, nice big Yurchenko full. She was a little bit under-rotated. It's almost like she got ahead of herself, started thinking about the stick just a second too soon. So she was slightly, ever so slightly under-rotated. Didn't quite get everything to its fullest, the block and the full rotation. So they'll take a slight reduction for that.
Kaya Johnson led off LSU on the bars. This is one of their better events. That brings up Chase Brown. Kaya Johnson scores in now 9-8-7-5.
We really want to look at these dancings. Nice job on that first one, right in the vertical position, as was the second. Little flexibility on that release move. Those tiny little form breaks can be a cumulative deduction of any routine, usually not major deduction for just slight flaws. Big pull out, a little under rotating, so a slight hop forward, but a solid routine. Maybe the prettiest Yurchenko full in NCAA. It is absolute perfection in terms of technique. And when she nails the landing, there are so few things that you can even see even in the slow motion. She flares it open.
Just floats it down.
Watch this. Tight twist, opens the arm, spots the landing. Those hips are so open. There is no pipe at all the way through the ball.
She gets a fist bump from Adrian Berta, the assistant coach there. She's coming after Kaya Johnson, led them off with a 9-8-7-5. Alonza Crawford had a 9-8-5 for Alabama on floor. Kiara Gianfagna, a 9-8-2-5 to lead off Arkansas, and that brings up Bailey Lovett.
They had an excellent warm-up. They were so solid on this event, very secure, very confident, and very organized in the way they warmed up. On aerial, right into the back hands, we noticed how she fought to keep those arms moving. She seemed maybe slightly off in between, but she kept her arms moving to get the connection, but that was off of that handspring.
Savannah Shane here coming after Megan Scams at a 98.75 for Florida on ball.
And this can be updating a 1.5 twist. Oh, she almost got the stick. She was hanging on with those toes so tight, but they did scooch forward. A little off to the side on that dismount.
Session 1, we saw a lot of scores in that 9-7 range. Right now, we have no scores in the 9-7s. Everything is 9-8-2-5 or better. That's the score for Chase Brock, in fact, 9-8-2-5. And this brings up freshman Olivia Dunn. This is an event we'll only see her on tonight.
And she has a gorgeous combination in the beginning. If she can keep the form, 2 release moves, the Takacha on high bar down to the back salto, transitioning to low bar, slightly over on that handstand pirouette and low bar. These are tiny little things, but in a championship meet, they matter. Double layout.
Oh.
Great landing, a slight pipe down to get there, but boy, no movement of the feet. Well done. All season long, this routine has improved, especially this dismount.
Nia Reed set to go on ball for Florida. Savannah Shane here, a 9-9.
And get ready for this one, because she can travel a mile from the table. She just launches this ball. Huge distance, 1.5 twist. And she felt that clean. She knew it was coming and she stayed patient, did not bring it that forward. So good for her.
She took off in Huntsville and landed in Birmingham. That was something.
Well, it is Rocket City. Okay, so
That was impressive and good control on that landing going forward.
nice to see. The judges are going to love that distance. She got decent height too. When you go that far, sometimes it's difficult to get the height as well. Look at this distance. She's about 8 feet from the table.
That's a distance Carl Lewis would be envious of. How about that? Back to the bars now for Haley Bryant, LSU.
Watch how she streamlines these handstands. No angle in the shoulder. Stretches all the way through the toes.
Score just came in for Olivia Dunn. It's a 9-9. That's the high score in the upset so far in this heat.
I love how she just fought so hard to show that handstand on her fail, that transition move down below. Watch this double front, super high, slightly over rotated. Unfortunately, will take that step. She really pushed herself for amplitude on this event.
Final Walter for Florida. Peyton Richards. She's just a sophomore, but boy, from the get-go, she has been a really impact player. In fact, you think of the big stars and the big names like Trinity Thomas and Megan Skaggs, but if you look at the MVP in terms of scoring contribution, now Trinity Thomas was out for a couple of weeks this year. Peyton Richards is the MVP of this team. And she is an unsung hero in many ways.
We saw her stick this earlier in the game.
Oh,
and
no.
it was off right off the table. Unfortunately, it looked off as she went back to the table. And if you don't get those arms back and get that block on the way up.
She was coming after the 9-9 for Nia Reed. So Florida has 5 really strong scores. So whatever score comes up from Peyton Richards, that will be the one that they will drop. Remember, 6 athletes in the field, just the best 5 for the team holding.
almost tipped back over. But so few gymnasts really finished that on top of the bar. Look at the height on that double layout. Oh my gosh, that was higher than ever.
Even
Yes.
Jay Clark is one of the great bar coaches in history. He was impressed.
Okay, that was higher than I've ever seen her go. She did have to pipe down a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if the judges looked up for that or if they were blown away like we were with the height.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. That was something. Sarah Schaefer now, the senior from Tyler, Texas, up for Arkansas on the beam. Their scores are Giovanni led them off with a 98.25. The other two scores were 97.25 for Loaded and 97.75 for Lady.
Good, strong positions in those leaps. Judges are looking for the 180-degree split. Juliet, step out. Going for a tall posture on the stretches off to the, oh no, you can see her just down for a split second in the middle of that front aerial, is already making a little correction. To the side aerial, full twist off, holds on to the stick, it was a quick salute.
Sammy Durante, the anchor performer on bars after the 9.85 notice in the Cobra.
And hang on while you watch this event. She is just out of the line. She goes so hard on everything. She is fearless. Oh no. Okay, that was slightly off. Came back really strong getting that half pirouette right on top of the bar. But she is so aggressive. Pushes for complete execution.
Oh,
the
yes.
whole routine, it was excellent. Just
What
a
a
slight
rotation.
little miss on the pack salto down to below.
An outstanding start for LSU on the bars as we go to Luisa Blanco for Alabama on the floor. Their high score so far is Emily Gaskins 9.875.
And Luisa is great. Her performance is so spectacular. The flexibility, the amplitude on her leaps. And the precision and form on the tumbler. Beautiful arabesque. Love the way she dances right on that tumbler. Absolutely gorgeous. Yes, pat that mat. That was well done.
Blanco certainly a contender for an all-around title here as well. Sophia Carter, the senior from Blue Springs, Missouri now.
From one extraordinary performer to the next. The beauty is in the details in some of these gymnasts who just go above and beyond in terms of their artistry and presentation.
Gorgeous anchor Sarah Schaefer 9.7.
Anti-layout step out, absolute perfection. Look how stretched up through her beam posture she is. Feeling the way they point. Soft, floating front aerial, just so elegant as she moves in and out of the difficult acrobatics and dance skills into the choreography.
Opportunity for Arkansas to hit beam and put the pressure on everyone else. Just get it out of the way.
And this is when you love starting with you. When you perform like this, absolutely. use it to your advantage, put the pressure on. Beautiful routine. If you get the stick, oh, she kind of turns to salute the judge just a little quick. They may take it for not a quickly stuck landing, but wow, I'm back because she goes above and beyond with artistry.
Senior Lexi Percentico, the score in for Luisa Blanco, a 9.95. So a huge boost there for Alabama on this opening rotation.
Lexi opens with a huge roll in, full twist double back. Very control on the landing.
You see their scores from Alabama, 9.875 for Graber, would give Alabama the lead.
She did those leaps so well, even the skips, the runs into it, toes pointed.
Okay, LSU and Florida are tied at 49-35. Alabama is close behind at 49-25. And I don't think Arkansas has all their scores in, because they're at 39.02. So they probably have updated Arkansas.
Right double back, finesse that landing beautifully. What a floor rotation! Well done by Alabama. They outperformed anything they've ever done all season long with these floor routines.
Look at that, Florida LSU tied with 49-35, and an opportunity for Alabama to surge ahead of both of them, as Arkansas is outstanding on the beam. Sophia Clark got
48-7.
and this brings one of their stars, Kennedy Hamlin.
Ranked 12 on this event. Pro series by comes from the layout, step out.
A fall on the beam.
It's just a reminder of what's on the line here, and it just elevates the level of pressure as it builds through the lineup. This is one of those things that's very hard to prepare mentally for. And to see her get back and be strong, finish everything. Good news is Arkansas has 5 strong scores on beam. This is certainly a missed opportunity for them, though. Cartwheel to a gainer for a little scoop back. Unfortunate error for one of the best all-arounders in the nation.
How about Alabama? Look at that score there, 49-45. So Blanco and Graber finish out that rotation on floor with a pair of 9.95s. So Alabama will have the lead after the first of 4 rotations. What a thriller already. Look at some of the highlights from that rotation. Florida opened up the meet on the vault because they're the #1 seed in the country.
And they had some big, beautiful, well-executed vaults, solid landings. This is a difficult event to start on sometimes because you have to be able to handle all that adrenaline and then focus in on those landings.
2-3-4.
In and out of the gym for more than 43 years. The Dean of the SEC coaches.
Bro earned more than 800 wins, 4 SEC championships, and 8 NCAA championship finals appearances. LSU honors the legendary head coach, Dean.
Upgrade your hair could look using the latest technology. Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. No matter what level of hair loss you have, text CLEAN to 234-234. That's CLEAN to 234.
Dee Bro led the LSU Fighting Tigers to success, in and out of the gym for more than 43 years. The dean of the SEC coaches.
Bro earned more than 800 wins, 4 SEC championships, and 8 NCAA championship finals appearances. LSU honors the legendary head coach, Dee Bro, in celebration of Women's History Month.
Back to Huntsville, I'm Mark Connor, Kathy Johnson-Clark. Look at this after the first rotation. Alabama, who's ranked only 16th
Alabama
in the country
did
on the floor, was
actually.
lights out with a 49-45. So they have a lead of 1/10 of a point over LSU in Florida, tied for second. Arkansas currently in fourth. Boy, we have a thriller already. And Dee Bro is in the house. They call her the dean of coaches in the SEC.
She started coaching the year I was born, 1978.
She absolutely is. She has done so much for LSU gymnastics, building this from the ground up.
She's not to be denied. 8 finals appearances at the NCAAs, 6 SEC championships, 2-time National Coach of the Year, and
to quote Dee Bro, nothing great is accomplished without enthusiasm and passion, and that is Dee Bro in 2 words.
she has been a key force in growing women's collegiate gymnastics, and here we are benefiting it today. And so, of course, is Jay Clark. He made a lot of brilliant decisions. One of them was to bring in this gentleman who, after 20 years, was let go at Georgia, and she made him an associate head coach, and he's taken over the reins. And they have just a spectacular program that together they have built, and one of the finest gymnastics training facilities in the world. They call it the Taj Mahal of gymnastics. So LSU in the hunt here, tied with Florida for second. Alabama has the lead. LSU won 3 straight SEC championships in 2017, 18, and 19. Can they win their 4th tonight? We'll find out.
Thanks. Let's go again.
Okay.
Sweet unholy cobalt.
Greetings, Vincent.
Saying that.
On that very
He
space.
did during the great space race year. For NASA, I am a proud daughter of a NASA engineer.
Outstanding. All right, we're getting ready for the second rotation. Alabama on the vault. Florida will be on the bars, and this is the only time we'll see Trinity Thomas. What a year she had. February 12th, she scored the first perfect 10 of the season versus LSU.
But it has been a roller coaster. She and 3 of her teammates and coach Jenny Rowland had to sit out the next meet due to COVID-19 protocol.
And then the next meet, she came back and scored 2 perfect 10s on bars and floor against Auburn.
And then in warm-ups before the last meet of the regular season, landed short, hurt both ankles. But the good news is we've heard they are just being cautious and they want her full strength for regionals and nationals.
All right, so we'll see her in the lineup here for Florida. Once again, a reminder, you can follow all of your teams on the ESPN app. Each apparatus has its own channel, as well as the all-around channel, with every apparatus going on at once. So you will miss none of the gymnastics tonight. You can watch us here and on the app and see it all. In this rotation, Florida will be competing on the bars. Alabama is on the ball. LSU on the knee.
Alabama just opened up with a Yuchenko full, Shania Adams. This is an event where Alabama can really take an advantage and really build on what they just started on the floor exercise. Christina Desiderio for LSU on balance beam, such a phenomenal beam opener. A little bit of a balance break on her accuracy. Abby Johnston on the floor exercise for Arkansas, immediately came into this program as having a huge impact in terms of leadership and with her floor exercise and vault. This lead position is so important. It really gets the team going, sets the pace.
Johnston, Arkansas.
back through and through already. Feels so much a part of this game.
Oh,
Look at
yes.
that landing. I saw her do it at the last meet. Just nails that final timing pass. No step into a lunge.
It's funny, Jordan Weaver told us the other day, she said, I wish they would stop calling us transfers. She goes, well, that's what you are. But she said, I'm a Razorback through and through. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yes, did I need to remind you? She
No.
said, stop doing that.
I wanted to make the point. Thank you. All right, back to the vault now.
Big moment. I saw her stick this in the warm-ups. This is a double twist, the hardest vault being done in this competition.
Coming after Shania Adams at a 9.825. Nice.
There's her best vault of the season. Yes, and she is excited as she should be. She's had a little trouble all season finding this vault in competition.
Right.
And honestly, it doesn't get enough credit because it is the hardest vault done in NCAA gymnastics. 2 twists around. This time she landed with the chest up and just a slight scooch back.
Lazari coming up now. Peyton Richards recovered from that miss on the vault in the earlier rotation. Started them off with a solid 9.85.
And Ellie Lazari can do some impeccable bar work. You will immediately notice a beautiful toe point. Sandy Durant. We saw how tough she's been her entire career as the anchor on the uneven bars, and she has been performing on other events, stepped into this beam lineup.
I love what Jay Clark says about her. She's full.
I think I was going to call her a bone crusher. That describes her pretty well. She's so aggressive when she attacks in competition.
Christina Desiderio at 9.8.
Beautiful work in the right of her swing with the bar. Technique, look at the straight body, the line, the amplitude. She a little overcooked that pack salto, but recovered well. But it will be a slight reduction by the hitch in that swing. Very high, full twisting double back, slight hop on the landing. Here's Sammy's dismount. Aerial cartwheel to a full and a stop landing. Well done. That's her best routine on beam this season.
Back to Alabama for vault. By the way, 9.925 was the score for that double twisting your ankle for Salad Olsen. So she has the high score of this meet. Keep in mind, they will award titles for SEC championships. And so these athletes can be not only for the team title, but individual titles as well.
Luisa Blanco can do this vault so pretty and with such power. She combines those two so beautifully. Wow! Oh my gosh! Yes, that was absolute gorgeous work.
I believe you can be elegant on the vault.
No, I was going to say nobody combines pretty and power as beautifully as Luisa Blanco on this vault. I'm telling you, I don't know that I saw any flaw.
Wow. Look at that.
In slow motion, yeah, can you pick out slight cross toes, slight softness, but no, in real time, those judges don't get to see it like we do in slow motion. That looks so close to perfect to me.
What a meet Alabama's having. She's coming after Shellen Olsen's 9.925 and Maddie Walagora at a 9.85. Look at those scores so far for the Crimson Tide. Just a reminder, open up your ESPN app and there's a channel for every single event. You watch every team of your favorite team.
And this is what it's like watching this meet. Sitting here in this arena, 4 great routines going at the same time, and you've got to divide your eyes because you don't want to miss anything.
And we don't know where to look either.
Perfect handstands. This bar routine is spectacular. Absolutely gorgeous from Megan Staggs for Florida and Lexi Graber, a 1.5 twist. She can vault with such amplitude.
Mia Carter on the floor coming after 2.985 for Johnston and Hickey.
And she is as pretty on this event as she is on balance leaves full split, and there's turns, revolutions in the air as they're in split, make it more difficult. Nice lift on that high double back. It's a big ball, just a little hop on the landing. Look at the distance from the table. So she combined the two things you need for amplitude, height and distance. What a rotation for Alabama. Nice lift off that table, just a little hop. Nice form, even in slow motion, opened up those arms, just that scoot on the landing, just like deduction.
At a 9.95, this is an LSU improvement this year. Savannah Shane here now for Florida on the bars coming in. Megan Skaggs hit a 9.925.
Oh, I love the way she closes her legs. Oh no! She was going strong. Overcooked that handstand. What a shame. This is a superb bar worker. Unfortunately, this would be the score that you want to drop. I do love that she stayed aggressive, went after that last handstand, and just did the up front. She normally would do a half turn, but to be safe, the routine was
Oh, in
already
the
done.
NBA, the Bucks are signing Jeff T.
LSU.
Bridget Dean, hometown Fort Myers, Florida.
Bridget Dean has been so consistent. This is better for LSU.
Ryan scores in 9.775.
Love this combination. Side aerials, back handspring. Lifted that foot. That's a side balance correction. You lift your foot. You bring it up. Good job. Solid, not here, that's a good job. Just the dismount. Side aerial to full, got the landing, good for her. Just a couple little balance checks in that routine.
Important moment for Florida coming up on the bars. Can they recover from the mistake from Savannah Shane here? Meanwhile, Alabama just lights out. They stayed high after that first rotation out of 4 and came up with a season high on ball, 49.55. Haley Quinn, their final vaulter, a 9.925.
So what Florida needs, and they need it from their two veterans right now, Melissa Bauman and Trinity Thomas to go, and they are superb on this event. Even though Alyssa is competing bars for the first time in her collegiate career this season, this will only be her, third competitive team, maybe fourth, but you would never know it.
Florida that year without eating on bars. And of course, this season when they needed to step up, this is crucial for Florida right here.
You can see her going with all her balls. Look at the gorgeous no. She had too much swing. That was such a high release move. She had huge swing coming out of it, couldn't handle it. Couldn't make the adjustment to get right out of it. Everything else was perfect, but unfortunately that is a big mistake. And it's going to cost her double layout. At least got her feet down, but wow. That is a missed opportunity.
9.275 is the score for Savannah Shane here. So Florida will have to count one low score. Remember, 6 athletes, not just the best 5, but they've had 2 mistakes. As we go to Kaya Johnson now from LSU on beam coming after Bridget Dean at 9.875.
High double layout. A run floor exercise.
Nathan Lovett coming after Sarah Schaefer at a 9.725. Sophia Carter, by the way, well reported with a 9.95 on the floor.
Johnson back to last, very secure to have a little bit of arm swing there to correct her balance. That toss, solid as she can spot this landing and get it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Final landing on the tumbling pass right there. A little bit of a large step going into the lunge.
We talked about at the top of the show, the only event we'll see her on today for Florida is Trinity Thomas, and what pressure she faces now, the junior from Pennsylvania. You see her NCAA leading score average, 9.975. You were there, Kathy. She scored her first perfect 10 on bars this year. And this is, of course, the event where a few weeks ago she's peeled off on her dismount uncharacteristically and landed short, tweaked her ankles. So they hope to have her back at full strength by regionals in 2 weeks. But tonight, this is the only chance we'll see her.
And this is an athlete who can handle tremendous pressure and still strive for perfection. She won't hold back. She'll go for these handstands. These big skills. She's doing with clean form. Missed that, but she can cover. There she goes. Just added the toe here. Double leg. Oh! And she has to be careful on those ankles.
Right.
Let's be clear on that.
Yeah, you can tell she's lifting just a bit.
Yeah.
That had to stink.
She was hoping to be a little bit more upright on that landing to not sting those ankles. And pardon me, she did not miss this. I thought she did the half pirouette on low bar. She actually nailed everything and handled it perfectly. She just released a hair too soon and was also thinking, okay, be smart. I don't want to crunch these ankles.
She's coming after Miss Obama at a 9.325, so Florida will have to count one miss on bars as we go to LSU on the beam with Reagan Campbell. And the Cameron of Arkansas on floor coming after the 9.9 for Baby Rowe.
Into layups, cut out, well done by Reagan Campbell on beam. She was having trouble with that pass. In the training yesterday and the warm-ups, but a true veteran, she was on this event. Slight little balance break after the full turn. Nice blow on that front area to the seesaw. Kennedy Hambrick coming back strong from the mistake on beam. But collegiate gymnastics is all about teaming. She's stepping up and doing exactly what we need. Round up double twist dismount for Reagan, a little up on the landing. Reagan's been out of the lineup for a few weeks. She has a little bit of a hip issue. So really a nice job to step into that pressure position for LSU.
She came up after Kaya Johnson scored their highest score of 9.9. So LSU survives beam.
Double backs. A little bit short of rotation there, but pulled it out.
Now this is an outstanding meet. Everywhere we look at it, we're seeing like world-class gymnastics. It's almost too much to take in, isn't it?
And you can feel the intensity of this competition and pushing each other.
A lot of bragging rights in the SEC at stake tonight. And Alabama started amazingly on floor and followed up with vault with a season high.
And this was key, Bart, for Shallon to come up big, throw the most difficult vault, double twist, and then set up her teammate Lisa Blanco.
Alabama and LSU are rivals.
With a sky high 1.5, and then almost got a stick on the final anchor gymnast in the rotation. Well done by Alabama.
Alabama with a 99. That's a 198 pace. That is world class. We'll talk a lot more about Alabama when we come back.
And it's free.
And guess what? Right now, Alabama has the lead with a 99 and a 198 pace. Talk about this iconic program, not only in gymnastics, Kathy, but literally in all of women's sports. 6-time NCAA
Nine-time
champions,
SEC
9-time SEC
champions,
champions,
last title,
NCAA
2015.
championship appearances.
6-time
This is really
NCAA
one of the
champions.
iconic programs
Last title,
in all of collegiate
2012.
sports.
36
Today they have the lead over Florida, LSU, and Alabama at the halfway point in this competition. And of course, one of their stars is Luisa Blanco, who right now with a 9.95 on floor and a 9.95 on ball, one of the highest scores in the meet so far.
She has had an amazing season, and every week you can see her improving on near perfection. She was almost flawless on both, but look at the landing, and from the side view where the judges see that ball, absolutely gorgeous.
There is Luisa Blanco, 39.675 this season, the 5th score in the NCAA, and the 3rd highest score in all-around history for Alabama, with a 39.825 back on February 19th. Tuesday, SEC Inside gives you all access pass to the SEC Gymnastics Championship with never-before-seen footage and sounds. It all starts at 10 Eastern right here on SEC Network and the ESPN app. All right, when we come back, we'll start the second half of the final session of the SEC Championship. Right now, Alabama.
Again.
Okay, I'm going to Philo, streaming app.
Whether you like them smothered, smashed, topped with ricotta, deep fried, or as big as your head, we're bringing you the most mouth-watering meatballs across the country.
Saucy and juicy. I don't think I've ever had a meatball that tastes this good.
It's incredible how big it is, and yet it disappeared immediately.
It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth.
Get ready for the most well-rounded meals on the planet, because we're taking you to meatball paradise. From hefty balls of beef bathed in bolognese, to the creamy Swedish variety served up over egg noodles, nearly every culture can claim the meatball among their favorite comfort foods. And today, meatballs are also rolling out of restaurant kitchens like never before, as chefs across the country elevate these little balls of comfort to spherical culinary sensations, feeding our meatball madness.
There are two types of people, the one that like meatballs and the one that gonna like meatballs.
Top chefs and even a beginner in the kitchen can make meatballs.
I always order meatballs because I love Italian food, and it's a fulfilling dish.
Our mission for Meatball Paradise begins in Northport, New York, a scenic shoreline village on Long Island. This laid-back small town is home to an unconventional restaurant known for its 100-year-old recipe for mouth-watering meatballs that'll have you shouting, Mamma Mia! Say buongiorno to Maroni cuisine.
Eat meatballs,
Ooh,
live
they're
long.
drinking red wine.
Just with the meatballs and the sauce, I don't know how to
Red wine is certified.
It's so different. We loved it the first time, and just kept on coming back.
No matter what color, race, creed, whoever you are, everybody loves a meatball, especially if it's a good meatball. And my grandmother made the best meatball on the planet.
Michael Maroney loved his Nona's unusual and economical meatball recipe so much that he based his business on it.
Grandma didn't have much money, but she knew how to cook, and she took a pound of meat, turned it into about 2.5 pounds of unbelievable lusciousness. 1 pound of ground chuck, some fresh grated onion, fresh garlic, fresh pecorino romano, fresh parsley. We have fresh basil, fresh breadcrumbs, 3 large eggs, whole milk, keep muscles strong. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna mix it, we're gonna roll them up, and we're gonna get them ready for the oven. We're gonna pop them in the oven, 350 for approximately 15 minutes. Okay, so they're just out of the oven. I'm gonna check them. Delicious, tender, juicy, flavor.
And for the ideal Italian accompaniment, Chef Michael's rich pomodoro sauce with fresh basil, served over delightfully al dente Durham Citta de pasta.
And then we're gonna plate it. Now we're gonna add some meatballs directly onto the plate. Now we're gonna garnish it with a little bit of Romano from the sheep. A little bit of fresh basil. And that's it. Grandma's famous spaghetti and meatballs. It's a part of the tasting menu. Freak out.
Meatballs are spectacular. Texture's good, flavor's great.
These are very tender. They're not greasy, and they're really good.
Meatballs are gorgeous. We're from New York, and this is where we come to eat the best meatballs, because this is it.
Maroney first opened in 2001 as a takeout joint for meatballs and a few other dishes. But business was so good, Michael and wife Maria expanded to a full-service restaurant with a twist.
What do we got here, Mike? We got a rule.
So when we sat down, we were like, okay, well, where's the menus? And they were like, what do you mean there's no menus? And they explained to us about the tasting menu. Everything was described to us individually and personally, and it was a really different vibe from what you usually go through.
Maroney's family-style tasting menu takes the hassle out of hemming and hawing over what to have, which means more time to manja those meatballs and the other scrumptious selections coming out of the kitchen.
I have never been to a restaurant where you get so many small portions, and one after another, after another, after another.
Meatball parmesan salad, spicy arugula.
And here we have Cape Cod shrimp.
Once you go into a restaurant, you're there to eat. You're not there to be tormented and torn between the crab cocktail or the sweetbread.
You just need to eat. On the off chance you're still hungry or feel like having meatballs for breakfast, Maroney makes meatballs to go in a reusable hot pot.
We're gonna put the meatballs on, a little fresh Romano on top, and then we do a little bit of fresh basil. And then we put the lid on top, boom, and there's your pot of spaghetti meatballs.
Well, we come by boat from Connecticut, it's about an hour trip. We'll come in the fall and we'll buy a bunch of meatballs, freeze and eat them all there.
Meatballs are fabulous.
Almost as popular as the menu and the meatballs are the hosts.
Come here because they are so hands-on and we love them. It's warm, it's like family.
He always comes out, goes up the tables. When you talk about paradise, think about food, happiness, and comfortable, and that's really what you get here when you go for dinner.
It's really a new skill. We call it our happy place.
From the shores of Long Island, the next stop on our meatball marathon is an hour's drive west to Manhattan's Lower East Side. This historic neighborhood was once a melting pot of working-class immigrants, but a recent reinvention has brought in a hip crowd, hungry for the latest haute cuisine. And many are surprised to find it under the unassuming red and white awning of a place simply called the Meatball Shop.
I think it's genius. These are some of the best meatballs I've ever had. They're juicy and the sauces are delicious.
Co-owners Michael Chernow and Daniel Holtzman may not have invented the meatball, but they are at the forefront of a modern meatball movement taking Manhattan by storm.
The first thing on our list in New York was eating the meatball shop.
At the Meatball Shop, customization is customary. Guests design their own masterpiece meal by mixing and matching meatballs, sauces, and sides from a checklist menu. And while the menu options are plentiful, Mike and Dan's signature meatball is surprisingly traditional.
Our #1 top-selling meatball is the classic beef meatballs, naked in a bowl.
The Meatball Shop's meatballs are made daily from the freshest ingredients.
I've got the beef shoulder cup, which is the chuck, and you can see that the meat has a bit of fat on it. That's going to actually add a lot of moisture to the end product. I'm going to go right in the bowl, and then my 2 teaspoons of salt, a half a teaspoon of chili flakes, a teaspoon and a half of fennel seed, a half a cup of fresh oregano, and a half a cup of parsley. We have some of these old baguettes, and we actually will just grind those up with the meat. And then the last kind of ingredient that we add to our beef meatballs is ricotta cheese, and it gives it a really distinct fluffiness.
After all the ingredients are prepped, they are then ground together to make a mouth-watering meatball mixture.
And then the last step is just a couple of eggs to help bind everything together. They're like the glue that hold the meatball together. We use an ice cream scoop, which helps us to portion them out, and I like to line them up like good little soldiers, all nice and even. I'm going to pop these in the oven at 425 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes.
Once the meatballs come out of the oven, they are locked and loaded to the customer's order. Whether they like their balls smothered or smashed, served over pasta, potatoes, polenta, or veggies.
We have 4 meatballs that are on the menu every single day: beef, chicken, veggie, and spicy pork. And of course, there's a special ball that you can taste as well. We have 4 different sauces on the menu every day: mushroom gravy, classic tomato sauce, spicy meat sauce, and then Parmesan cream sauce.
I don't think I've ever had a meatball that tastes this delicious. That's what I expect of a meatball. It's not dry, but it's not too liquid. So it's kind of like a perfect combination.
Reminds me of my mom and my grandmother's meatballs from home.
It may taste like Mama makes, but there's nothing basic about this beefy bad boy, especially when you start adding the Epicurean extras.
So up on top is naked balls. That's just 4 meatballs in a bowl with your choice of sauce. You have an option to add any of these sides.
Enjoy mushroom or Parmesan.
Prior to mobilizing this meatball madness, Dan and Mike grew up together in the New York restaurant grind, starting out as delivery boys and working their way up. Today, they have 3 thriving locations, serving 6,000 meatballs a day.
It's a meatball-centric restaurant, so the meatballs are the main course. They're accessible and they're inherently inexpensive, so we could afford to use the top quality ingredients that we kind of come to expect when we go to a restaurant.
And given their main dish's inherent funny factor, Dan and Mike are having, well, a ball.
Anything, I mean anything, can be turned into a meatball.
Easter was coming up, we're like, what are we gonna do for Easter? And we thought, well, bunny balls. We'll do bunny balls for Easter, we'll make it from rabbit.
Jingle ball for Christmas.
We'll be traveling and we'll find something that we really love, down in New Orleans, jambalaya, we'll come back excited and say, let's make jambalaya balls. Or,
The ball that's coming soon is Nacho Mama balls.
There's Nacho Mama.
Ball jokes aside, the Meatball Shop has become the city's go-to comfort food canteen.
When we and the people that work with us and our friends are happy, realistically, everybody else follows suit. I believe that that's actually the energy and the environment and the atmosphere that we set out to create and what's actually happened.
It's like quintessential New York, but it's real and it's not over the top.
I'm having the most amazing meal of my life.
We've been working hard at an unprecedented pace, connecting more people across America and making our 5G network bigger and faster. The hard work is paying off. And we're just getting started. At T-Mobile, we believe you should get more. Introducing Magenta Max, unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus Netflix on us and taxes and fees included. Only at T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Sometimes you want speedy but reliable. In other words, you want a hybrid. So do telcos. That's why they're taking a smarter hybrid cloud approach with IBM to roll out new innovations anywhere without losing speed.
Everyone wants to be the Cadbury Bunny, because only he brings delicious Cadbury cream eggs, while others may keep trying. No bunny knows Easter better than Cadbury.
It's time to say goodbye to appliance heartbreak and hello to way more quality finds you'll love on Wayfair. Way more brands you trust. Way more support. Way more dependability. Way more fast and free delivery, and way more installation in hallway. So with Wayfair, you'll always find your perfect match. Wayfair, you got just what I need.
These days, we want sophisticated, but simple. In other words, we want a hybrid, and so do retailers. That's why they're taking a smarter hybrid cloud approach with IBM to manage complex supply chains while predicting demands with ease.
We made USAA insurance for busy veterans like Kate. So when her car got hit, she didn't waste any time. She filed a claim on her USAA app and said, that was easy. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Please buy only at Old Navy and OldNavy.com.
Our continuing quest for meatball bliss rolls on to the Meat Street of Philadelphia. Here, the cheesesteak is champ. But there's a new contender for the title of Philly's food of choice. The Marabella Meatball Company is ready to rumble.
I'm getting tired of the same old cheesesteak in Philadelphia, and I want a good meatball sandwich.
We're the first ones in Philadelphia to open a meatball sandwich shop. There's a lot of Italian restaurants that have meatballs on the menu, but not like we do.
Chef and owner Gabe Marabella introduced Philly to the idea of meatballs as a main course. And the locals love them, packing away as many as 600 a day. Marabella's menu is built on 4 types of meatballs and an array of awesome toppings. In fact, you can eat here every day for years and never have the same thing twice.
We'd have to go out and get a mathematician to really find out how many combinations of all the meatballs and toppings we could do at Marabella Meatballs.
But no matter what meal strikes your mood, the bestseller and still champion is their mainstay meatball sandwich. The beef meatball is an old family recipe, courtesy of Gabe's Italian grandmother.
These are dynamite. The meatball sandwich at Marabella's tastes amazing.
We use chuck, which is 80 meat, 20 fat. This is our root. This is made with the fresh herbs, the cheese, the eggs,
our fresh breadcrumbs that we make every day. So I'm gonna mix the roux into the meat. I'm gonna roll the meatballs. I wanna make sure it's firm and tight, otherwise they'll break apart.
45 minutes at 375, and these burger balls are ready to become the centerpiece of Marabella's masterpiece. Like the ever-popular classic meatball sandwich.
The first person will put the meatballs on a roll. I will cheese it. We toast the sandwich for about a minute. We want to get a little color on the bread, make sure the cheese is covered. I'll cut it in half and I'll put it in the basket.
I ordered the classic. That's fantastic. As far as meatballs go, this is the best. The freshest, the tastiest.
Marabella's uses the finest Italian cheeses, sauces, and toppings to turn traditional sandwich favorites into meatball magic.
We're putting spinach on meatballs, ricotta cheese, prosciutto, and I don't think anybody ever did that. I think meatballs are fabulous. I would rather have a meatball than a hamburger. I think the meatball should replace the hamburger.
Chicken parm I never really had with a meatball. It's a different texture and it tastes even better.
I got a pork Philly sandwich. It was really good. The meatballs were great. They were really moist. The broccoli broth was great.
I'm eating a pork olive. It's a little bit salty. Reminds me of martinis, which I like to drink so much.
Whether you choose a sandwich classic or opt to mix and match your own meal, Marabella's traditional Italian ingredients will transport your taste buds back to the tour. He was done with the dining trade after selling his last 8 restaurants in the late 90s.
All our kids played sports in college, and we used to tailgate after the games, and we'd always bring our meatballs. And everybody came to our tailgate, and we couldn't make enough meatballs. My wife said, let's open up a meatball company.
Marabella's Meatball Company is family owned and operated, continuing the traditions into the next generation with their family staple, the meatball.
This is my daughter, Jessica.
It makes you feel like a family atmosphere when you walk in. You just want to come down and sit down with your family, and you feel like you're at home.
Philly's a bigger city with a small town feel. So I think Marabella Meatball Company is true to the city vibe, and that you're going to know who's making your meatball because it's the guy that's serving it to you.
Marabella's Meatball Company is leading the charge of Philly's meatball mania.
I'm not surprised that meatball is so popular. This mania is bound to happen, this phenomenon.
I'm part of the mania.
But can Meatball Mania knock out the reigning champion of Philly's food scene?
In Philly, everyone just goes and gets cheesesteaks. Like, that's like the thing. But this is a little bit different. It's almost like a cheesesteak, but it's not. It's better. It's more filling. It's more satisfying. And it's different.
I love Marabella Meatball Company.
We head next to Midlothian, Illinois. And out here, the meatball sandwich is huge. Literally. Located 20 miles south of Chicago, this Midwestern town is home to an Italian family eatery where they serve a mammoth 10-pound meatball sub. Feast your eyes on Bartolini's, where beefy brothers Christopher and Dominic Bartolini challenge their hungriest patrons to take their balls of meat to the max.
It is definitely worth the 6-hour drive to come to Bartolini's to eat this meatball sub. They have the best, most flavorful, awesomest meatballs.
When it comes to meatballs, we're the pros.
Our meatball recipe comes from my grandfather and my mom's dad. And what we do special is that we use Toronto bread. We soak it in water, then we press it, which makes our meatballs nice, fluffy, and give a nice bite to them.
These meatball pros are trained chefs who put their money where your mouth is by betting customers can't finish one of their tremendous 10-pound meatball sandwiches. Think you've got what it takes? Before you get elbows deep in Bartolini's orbs of beef and pork, you may want to take a closer look at what you're up against.
Everything has to equal 10 pounds, so everything on the sandwich is weighed out to be equal. So we do 42-ounce meatballs, which is 5 pounds, a pound and a half of red gravy, do 1 pound of the sweet peppers, a pound and a half of mozzarella cheese, and then the Toronto bread, which is going to be 1 pound. 10 pounds all day, kids.
15 minutes in the oven, and this 3-foot-long mega sub is ready to take on any and all meatball munchers. Devour this legendary behemoth by yourself in 3 hours or less, and it's free. Fail, and you'll have to fork over $40 for the meaty monster.
The U family, here's your 10-pound meatball challenge.
But as daunting as it is, there are plenty eager to take the challenge. And the Bartolinis have graciously opened the challenge to teams. But can a family of 7 succeed, it's a gluttonous game on.
1, 2, 3.
The U Crew starts out promisingly enough. But this family is bested by the meatball Mission Impossible.
I think there's 8 still in there.
I thought everybody did pretty well. It was tough, but it was delicious.
Meatball Sandwich 1, U Crew 0. Time to bring in the Dream Team. Can 3 professional eaters take down this meatball mammoth?
We're here to beat the 3-man challenge. The time is 17 minutes and some odd seconds. Right now with the head of the team right here. We're going to try to walk this baby down. 3, 2, 1, meatball!
Now that's a meatball beatdown. Not interested in the whole sandwich and just want to get your protein on for a big prize money? Bartolini's ups the ante with their annual Meatball Eating Championship. Contestants get 7 minutes to chow down in front of a cheering crowd.
We're at the 7th annual Meatball Championship. And we're so excited that everybody comes out.
All right, boys, ready? 3, 2, 1, meatball!
When people who come to do it, they are the top of the world. They are running with it. Next thing you know, they start getting what they call a meatball. And the meatball, they start getting the meat shakes.
And the meat shakes come with a sign of the meat sweats.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
At the end of 7 minutes of meatball madness, a winner is crowned, taking home the trophy and some fat cash. $2,500.
This year's new champ, Jamie the Bear McDonald, 45 meatballs in 7 minutes.
Contestant or customer, the Bartolini brothers are happy to feed your meatball habit year-round. Between their meatball challenge, meatball appetizer, meatball pizza, meatball pasta, and even a meatball omelet, Bartolini's rolls and doles out more than 250 pounds of porky, beefy balls each week.
We get a lot of compliments on our balls. People love our meatballs.
They're nice, they're juicy, and they're quite large.
Bartolini meatball, probably the best meatball I've ever had.
When I take that meatball and I put it in my mouth, I just close my eyes and I picture a nice sandy beach with a big old palm tree. It makes me happy.
Say hello to way more quality finds you'll love on Wayfair. Way more brands you trust, and way more dependability. So with Wayfair, you'll always find your perfect match.
The day after chemo might mean a trip back to the doctor's office, just for a shot. But why go back there when you can stay home? With Neulasta Onpro, strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the day after chemo and is used by most patients today.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to it, or Neupogen, filgrastim. An incomplete dose could increase infection risk. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
If you'd rather be home, ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro. Pay no more than $5 per dose with copay card. Labradoodles, cronuts, squirts.
It's a skirt and shorts.
The world loves a hybrid. So do businesses. So today, they're taking a smarter hybrid cloud approach using the tools, platform, and expertise of IBM.
Our trek for the tastiest meatballs takes us way down south to Tomball, Texas. Because any food with meat in its name is gonna be pretty darn good around these parts. Located north of Houston's hustle and bustle, one friendly neighborhood trattoria takes traditional Italian meatballs and throws in a true Texan twang. Tombolini's is where the Italian boot meets the cowboy boot. Tombolini's boasts that these are much more than the best little meatballs in Texas.
These are the best meatballs you can get anywhere.
The kitchen cranks out 6 different kinds of meatballs, all of which start out with a tasty Texas twist.
Texans love their barbecue, they love their brisket, and so we came out with a Texan meatball.
I ordered the Texan meatballs. They were fabulous. Really good.
The cowboy-inspired combo beef balls are methodically deep-fried at a very specific temperature before being sent to the oven.
We don't want our meatballs to be burned. We want it to be crispy but not burned. So by not using hot oil, that's the secret. It's their very moist inside.
The fried and baked beef bonanza is then topped with Tombolini's Texas Rosa sauce. Their special recipe tomato sauce laced with the Lone Star's favorite flavor, barbecue.
My favorite meatball is the Texan. The one with the brisket and the barbecue sauce. They're my favorite Texan, so of course I love the Texan meatball. They're very moist, that's what I like. They're very soft and lots of flavor.
The quality of the meat makes a huge difference. There's not too much spice, not too little spice. It's got a very nice flavor, a nice finish.
Another popular meatball is their signature beef ball, humbly referred to as the world's greatest meatball.
It lives up to the name. When you take a bite, all the flavors go rushing through your taste buds.
It's your basic meatball, but we think the way we make it is the greatest you'll ever have. We start with 100% Angus chuck beef. We use Italian spices and some other secret ingredients, of which I can't tell you because I don't want people to know them.
One of the secrets they do divulge is that the owner's father expertly rolls that top quality meat into balls of beefy goodness, fresh every day.
Each meatball, one by one, is hand rolled in our kitchen. You do it by hand, better than any mixing machine. It just makes it different.
Grandpa Tombolini brought his generations-old family recipe to the Lone Star State in April 2011.
He learned to do it himself when I was in college because he used to remember his grandmother making them.
You know, my mom's Italian, and they're like buttered burgers. And hers are pretty good too, but they're a lot of flavor.
So for me, it tastes like homemade, delicious, and scrumptious.
Many come for the curious taste of Texas meets Italy, but the Tombolinis proudly serve 5 other family formulas of sauce.
We have the rosa, we have the arrabbiata, we have the paisano, we have the pesto, and we have the bianca. People call it as the alfredo, but we call it the jewel. And it's such a secret that the ingredients are not even spoken in the kitchen. We just don't talk about it. We just make it.
To satisfy any appetite, their thick, rich, savory sauces can be served over a selection of Tombolini's unique meatball creations. The Italiano gets its kick from spicy Italian sausage. The portobello is packed with mushrooms. And the tomball is an all-natural ground turkey ball.
We did two meatballs that people have done with pizza. We added different varieties. You can pick any meatball in any sauce and combine it as you will. But your way is going to be the best way, the way you like it.
If decisions are getting you down, the sampler will give your taste buds the grand tour of Tombolini's treats.
We thought that it would be nice to just get the 6 meatball starter and then you could try them all at once.
And in fine Italian fashion, customers can choose to chop their meatballs in a sandwich, over pasta, and even on pizza.
It's like with your chicken bags, it's the spices they use in their meat. You can smell it outside, it's fantastic.
And though Tombolini's hasn't been open very long, the neighborhood meatball joint is really on a roll.
I've been coming here since it opened, and they just make really good meatballs.
We believe to be the best meatballs in the world. They're that good. The only problem is it's hard to just eat a few. You'll eat more and more and more.
You know what? That's probably the world's greatest meatball.
Don Julio did things his own way.
Some say he treated his agaves like his children. That he talked with them, whispered to them. Don Julio, he grew his agaves in the highest of the highlands.
Everyone told him he was wasting time and space and money.
But every drop of his tequila begs to differ.
Our boy Blue really was a member of the Bishop family. He was part of everything we did. And he really did inspire us to start Blue Buffalo. We just weren't happy with the foods that were out there. We thought we could do better. And now millions of dogs and cats enjoy our healthy recipes. They're made with the finest natural ingredients and real meat first, and no chicken or poultry byproduct meals. That's the promise we made to Blue, and it's our promise to you and your pet. Because like you, we love them like family too.
Fleece Vibes, only at Old Navy and OldNavy.com.
Okay, I'm awake. Let's do this, Smudge.
What's next? Oh, remember have some fun today. Let's go. Say it with me now.
Hinge, squeeze. Stay with me. Here, I'm with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, we're finished. You get that Peloton. Until next time.
What's up, Peloton? If you're pumped, you are ready to go. Come on. Halo with me. Good. Keep it money.
Peloton.
The music is going to guide us today. Final push. Give yourself this moment. Press your foot back into your hand.
Peloton? Yep.
This is Peloton. Get the app free for 30 days. New app trials only. Start today.
The road to Meatball Paradise next winds north, bound for the tiny village of Sister Bay, Wisconsin. This remote waterfront community is less than 3 square miles and is the unlikely home to what may just be the best Swedish meatball this side of Stockholm. Just look for the four-legged greeters grazing the sod-covered roof of Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant and boutique.
They just taste different than meatballs we're used to. It's nice to come up here and get a little taste of Sweden.
The menu is a veritable smorgasbord of authentic Swedish cuisine. And with this being cow country, you can bet they serve up some mean beef meatballs.
The way we make our meatballs is a little different than a lot of Swedish recipes. Most call for a mix of pork and beef. We use 100% beef. We mix it in with our Swedish limpa bread, salt, sugar, eggs, and that's pretty much it. Perfect.
Then meatball making magic happens.
Our meatball machine just loaded and started. They just done just about 1 ounce. So now we're gonna brown it. We just put them in the fryer for like 20 seconds. Once they're all done, we can just put them in the pan. Pour some gravy on them, just so it covers the meatballs.
Frying first, followed by a beef gravy bath, is what makes Swedish meatballs unique in a world dominated by their Italian counterparts. Bake at 350 for 3 hours, and you've got soft, gravy-infused balls of beef that are just fantastic.
This is a nice, mild, satisfying flavor. The meat was very finely ground and very well mixed.
It's juicy, and some of this stuff down here kind of makes it more juicy.
That stuff is lingonberry sauce, a staple of Swedish cuisine eaten on meats and sweets alike.
I like the gravy out of them. And they're good with the lingonberries too.
Lingonberries is kind of a cross between a currant and mountain berry, they call them sometimes, or maybe even a cranberry. The lingonberries grow wild throughout Scandinavian countries. We serve more and sell more than any place in all of North America with the exception of IKEA.
But unlike IKEA, here at Al Johnson's, delivery is always included. And you can bet there will be no parts left over when you've finished your meatball masterpiece.
I think of this place, I think with meatballs and pancakes with lingonberries.
And the lingonberries go great on everything.
The home of all beef Swedish meatballs, Al Johnson's also takes some liberties with Sweden's other signature dish, Swedish pancakes.
To spread these out, try to make them as rectangular and as thin as I can. My grandmother started this because we were making them one at a time, round, like you would typically see them, and we were going too slow. So she said, give me the spatula, get out of my way. Although she said it in Swedish, and this is how she started doing them.
They're really thin, like paper thin. They have an altogether different flavor than a regular, big, thick, fluffy pancake.
Swedish pancakes, they have it very, very nice. In fact, it's a toss-up coming here today whether I would have the meatball dish or have the breakfast with the Swedish pancakes.
Al Johnson opened the restaurant in 1949 with his mother as head cook, bringing old world Swedish meals to the Lake Michigan masses. Today, his son Rolf rules the roost. For most visitors, the restaurant's name might not ring a bell. They just know the place for its fine food and its most distinct exterior feature.
Usually people know the place with the goats on the roof, and they don't necessarily know it by the name of Al Johnson's Swedish Restaurant. But the sod on the roof is actually a Scandinavian thing. It's historically done when buildings were built into the berm of a hill or whatnot, and it wouldn't be unusual to see an animal grazing up there.
The sod helps insulate the building, while the goats serve as four-legged lawnmowers. And thanks to technology, avid goat watchers don't even have to be here to see them work.
A friend of mine was making pancakes one day, and we decided if we needed, there was a camera up on the roof, and he said, yeah, we'll call it the goat cam.
From the goats grazing on the roof, to the appropriately attired staff, Swedish boutique, and of course, the amazing meatballs. Al Johnson's is a little slice of Sweden in cheesehead country.
I haven't been to Sweden, but this is probably as close as I'll get. The irony of all the meatballs in front of me and the fact that I'm the sole butcher back there, I'm also a vegetarian. The meatball speaks for itself. It's a darn good meatball. Anybody can make an Italian meatball, but not everybody can make a Swedish meatball.
Meatball!
I've been dealing with digestive issues pretty much since college, and I couldn't go see a doctor at this time. I found the food sensitivity test, and it looked pretty simple to do and easy, and I was like, you know what, I'm at home, I'm gonna try it. I've seen a big difference. I feel better, I feel less bloated, and it was amazing to me that all it took was a small little finger prick to give me that background that I've been looking for a while.
3, 2, 1, go! This Easter, save $10 when you spend $50 on toys with Target Circle and find something for everybody. Save on toys now through Saturday, only at Target.
I feel like I'm being suffocated. You need to get off my back.
Have you considered their love?
I'm Dr. Barbara Baudelaire, relationship coach for women and their bras.
Ever since I lost weight, there's been a gap between us.
That must feel good to get off your chest.
Let's say the mantra. My boobs deserve their love.
The distance that used to be there is gone.
I feel so free. And look, their love has my back.
At Oddly, we want your pups to live as long as caninely possible, and it all starts with their food. We've reimagined mealtime from the ground up with fresh veggies, real meat, and whole grains. That means simply great tasting food your dog will love, delivered right to your door. Because when your best friend eats right, they maintain the shiny coat, have more energy, and a fuller, happier life. Find out why we're rated excellent by hundreds of dog owners just like you. Go to myollie.com and get 50% off your first box today.
ThredUp.com is the world's largest online thrift store. But what do people really think about secondhand clothing?
Run-of-the-mill brands. It's not that easy to find good quality in secondhand stores.
What if we told you that everything at ThredUp was triple checked for top quality?
I like that a lot. Doesn't even seem like it's secondhand at all.
How about Anthropologie from $8, Loft and Nike from $6, and J. Crew from $7?
These are all designers that I wear. I didn't expect to see Kate Spade in here. Whoa. 90% off. That's my style.
Again, get up to an extra 50% off your first order at ThredUp.com.
We are back with
Steve, who's got 2 broken arms and 1 unexpected medical bill. Aflac would have been the smart play.
Should we give him a hand?
Get help when expensive health insurance doesn't cover.
Our pursuit of perfect meatballs takes us now to New Orleans, a city with a culinary tradition as rich and complex as its history. Stand aside traditional meatballs, because meatballs from the Big Easy are like New Orleans itself, something else.
Make sure that's good.
Stumbling distance from fabled Bourbon Street, hungry patrons are lured into Something Else Cafe for an irresistible local favorite, the Boudin Ball.
The boudin balls are delicious. I order them every time I come.
It's not like an Italian meatballs, not Italian, so I can say that. So the boudin balls on the menu, and we're like, oh my God, we gotta have those. The boudin balls are absolutely fabulous.
Boudin balls is a little bit of heaven. But just what are Boudin balls?
Our boudin balls are a Cajun-style meatball.
Here in Cajun country, Boudin is sausage traditionally stuffed with a seasoned pork and rice mixture.
When the Cajun family would get together and they would slaughter a pig, and then they would take those pigs and use every part. The boudin was actually made from the scratch. Nowadays they use, prime cut meat. We take the boudin out of the sausage casing and form it as a ball.
The Boudin balls at Something Else Cafe are a mix of pork, rice, cayenne, and other secret ingredients. They're shaped to the size of a golf ball, then dumped in an egg wash, rolled in breading, and dipped in the fryer. Deep frying makes the thin, crunchy crust that surrounds the supple sausage meat inside extra delicious.
It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth.
There's no comparison. It's just one of those signature Cajun things.
You can find Boudin balls on other menus around town, but the balls at Something Else come smothered in their secret weapon.
We have our own twist on it and serve it with a sauce that we keep secret.
You know what the special sauce is, what they keep serving, so we keep going. Wonderful.
The precise recipe may be a Something Else secret, but they let us have a peek at part of the process. The special sauce starts out with a heavy-duty mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Cajun seasoning, and Worcestershire sauce. Whisk it up until it tastes right. Then it's ready to be served with the Boudin balls.
The sauce that's made with the Boudin balls is seasoned perfectly. It makes the Boudin balls stand out beautifully.
There's a little bit spicy if you like spicy food, but the sauce complements it really well.
The story behind Something Else and those famous saucy sausage balls starts with 2 friends fishing. After cleaning and cooking their catch, Greg and Blaine realized they could turn their southern Louisiana upbringing and shared passion for fine food into restaurant success.
We want to have something totally different. So when we were sitting down and we were trying to come up with a menu, the word something else just kept coming up. So I looked at Craig and said, I think this is it. Something Else Cafe. And he's like, yeah, man, that sounds great.
We put the boudin balls on the menu because it was something that Blaine and I had always eaten. We wanted locals and tourists to actually have an authentic dining experiences like you would get at our grandmother's house.
Here you go, guys. Bon appetit. How's the food?
Awesome, all right.
And since 2009, the home-style food at Something Else Cafe has enchanted locals, tourists, and transplants alike.
And every time I come home, I demand to come to Something Else Cafe to have a good home-cooked meal.
You feel like you're coming into somebody's kitchen.
And the signature meatball swimming in secret sauce isn't the only unique thing coming out of Something Else Cafe's kitchen.
You won't go in many places and find alligator corn dogs or watermelon margaritas. Everything is made from scratch here.
The unique menu at Something Else Cafe even attracts Cajun cuisine-loving celebs, scouring the French Quarter for Boudin balls and other New Orleans delicacies.
Most Steph comes in here all the time. He loves that sweet potato cheesecake. He buys it by the pie. Anderson Cooper, he in here 3 times a day.
Next time you're in New Orleans, stop at Something Else Cafe and try the boudin balls. They're great.
That's some good Boudin balls, yeah.
The balls are amazing.
Did you know gravity and relativity were discovered by people working from home? Do you know what I discovered?
kale. Curly, dinosaur, red Russian, ornamental. Instacart opened my world to all kinds of discoveries. I discovered organic, wild-caught, vegan lip gloss. I discovered this, that, these, and I'm just getting started.
Instacart. More stores, more to discover. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order.
Carbon waste is weighing down the world. All bits are different. They're made from wool and recycled materials. They're soft and breathable and light. Light on your feet and the planet. Reduce your carbon footprint.
My boyfriend never forgets our anniversary.
I completely forgot today was our anniversary.
Even from 1,000 miles away, he is so thoughtful.
I have no idea what I was thinking.
My doorbell rang, and there is this beautiful bouquet of red roses on my doorstep.
Then one of my buddies told me 1-800 flowers to send you a delivery.
And I just thought to myself, I am so lucky.
1-800 flowers. Send a smile.
I've been in this business for 25 years now. It has literally wreaked havoc on my hair. One day it just started getting thinner and thinner, and then I heard about minoxidil. The hairdresser was like, you need to use this every day. Through hers, I don't even have to go to a pharmacy. I use it twice a day, put it right on my scalp, and my hair has grown back, and it's thicker and fuller and more amazing than even it was 10 years ago.
Start your hair journey at forhers.com. What if this spring the garden center came to you? Plants in their prime, potted and ready to go. Plants for looking at, plants for hiding in, plants for cooking with. Tools and essentials too. Guidance, game plans, indoor, outdoor, straight to your door. Bloomscape. Life gathers around plants.
Our search for Meatball Paradise concludes in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in the city that's legendary for excess and indulgence, they sport some serious balls. In the middle of the Palazzo Resort and Casino sits Lavo, a southern Italian eatery. And if you order the meatball here, you better be willing to go all in.
Whenever I come to Vegas, I always come to Lavo and I get the meatballs. They're so tender and so delicious.
Saucy and juicy.
When people think Vegas, they think big. And they see it when it comes out. It's 1 pound, it's big, it takes up the table, and you're like, wow, and it creates that wow factor.
What makes Lavo a major meatball player is the sheer size of the meatballs themselves. The signature Kobe meatball tips the scales at 1 pound of belly-filling goodness.
When it comes as a 1 pound meatball, at Lavo, it certainly can feed a family or a group of 5 to 6 people.
All meatballs should be softball size.
It's incredible how big it is, and yet it disappeared immediately.
But just as robust as the size of this round mound of meat is the phenomenal taste. This burly beef bomb is a flavor explosion waiting to happen, and it's armed with double-baked Kobe beef, along with a potent combination of meats. Ground A5 Kobe chuck roll, ground veal, and ground pork. Throw in some dry spices and 1 egg.
Start adding some of the wet ingredients in there. Caramelized onion, fresh white bread, and if a little bit of added moisture, add a little bit of chicken stock, just a splash. And the key to making meatballs, you don't want to overwork them. So, try to break the meat up the best you can and slowly incorporate the ingredients with your fingertips. Making meatballs is all love and all feel, so if it holds up nice and round, these are ready to go in the oven. After we get them in the oven, we'll hang out in there for about 2 hours at 375. We take them out of the oven and simmer them some ragu sauce for about 45 minutes. Just put it in a cast iron skillet and top with a little bit of ragu sauce. Go ahead and put it in the pizza oven. Bring it up to a boil for the guests, and then we'll go ahead and dress it. My personal favorite and best-selling one, meatball top with fresh whipped ricotta. For our fresh whipped ricotta, whipped out a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, a bit of pecorino cheese, a little bit of parsley, and extra virgin olive oil.
The meatball hits center stage as an appetizer, but many Lavo guests treat this hearty dish as an entire meal.
I would have it as a meal myself. It's so good.
When I saw it at first, it looked like it was a little too big for for a meatball, but it was so airy and fluffy. The taste of the meatball, when you put that first bite in, the flavor just permeated right through the whole meatball.
It just fell apart in my mouth. The cheese was amazing. I just loved it.
This is an incredible meatball. There's some kind of consistency that is there that makes me want to take another bite.
Fantastic. Guests can get their big balls dished two other ways, with sausage ragu or veg out over arugula salad. Also, fans of the small ball can go all traditional, with a good old-fashioned staple plate of spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti with the Kobe beef is a match made in heaven. They are incredible to have together.
I like vegetables. And with the meatball, of course, is on top of a bit of arugula. It adds to the flavor that I get when I'm eating the meatball.
The menu at Lavo is carefully crafted with classic Italian dishes, including brick oven pizza, pasta, steaks, and seafood. But it's their 1-pound monster that has made Lavo the biggest meatball party in Vegas.
We like to do things over the top, and so we figured what better way to take what's classic Italian meatball and make it big and better than everything else. So you really get the full experience of, you get a great party, you get great food, you get great music, and a great ambiance to go along with it.
We're in Las Vegas. It doesn't get much better than that.
Whether you're a traditionalist or like to go balls to the wall with crazy new globular gastronomic creations, there's truly a meatball for everyone.
Nobody leaves meatballs in the bowl here. All the balls get eaten.
Meatballs are so great because they're traditional. It just packs a lot of flavor in a little piece of meat. Meatballs are so great because they're a total meal.
Meat, sauce, what's not like? This is right here. You got to do this. This is excellent.
Okay, this is food paradise, barbecue paradise.
But a bold few have harnessed the power of smoke and flame and use it to turn otherwise ordinary meat into something mere words can't describe.
Just yummy.
It's a shockwave of just deliciousness. It's over 15 inches tall, and it's damn good.
Great barbecue joints are easy to find. You gotta know where to look.
You know, we're just bringing a little south of Vegas.
Fortunately, there's one on every corner in barbecue paradise. First stop, one of America's hickory smoked holy sites, Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis may still be king, but pork rules. And no one knows how to transform a simple rib bone into a magic wand of flavor, quite like this man.
My name's Craig, and this is Central Barbecue.
The folks at Central Barbecue obviously love what they do. If you serve ribs this big and tasty, you'd be happy too.
These are the best ribs they make. It's like a full pig. Juicy, they're pineapple bone, they're very tender. Everything I've had since I've been here has a little kick to it. So that must be a Memphis thing.
Craig Blondis and his business partner Roger Sapp opened Central Barbecue back in 2002, using the same recipes that earned them over a dozen titles on the national competitive barbecue circuit.
We're getting ready to whip up our rib rub, which makes our ribs famous. It's a spice blend that my business partner created on the competitive circuit years ago, and we've stuck with it and use it every day.
You got your standard kosher salt, cumin, chili powder, and pepper. Then Central goes deep, adding a dimension of earth spices, garlic, onion, and paprika. And finally, a little brown sugar, which caramelizes and locks in the flavor.
Why are they the best ribs in the country? Because of the spice blend right here.
Here's a tip from the pros. You know that silvery membrane on the back of a rack of ribs? Most armchair grill masters take that off before cooking, but Craig leaves it on. How come?
My philosophy is there's a layer of fat under here. You remove the membrane, you remove the fat, they dry out. Fat rules. Whether it's pork fat, beef, it doesn't matter. Because as you're cooking it, You're going to render the fat down, and that's what keeps the moisture.
With the skill of a Swedish masseuse, Craig rubs in the spice blend. The rack sets up overnight, and then he smokes them to perfection with a blend of hickory and pecan. The aroma is so intense, it's hard not to just grab the slab right out of his hands. But be patient, just one more step.
Basically, what I'm going to do to finish these ribs is remove the membrane, and that's the last part of the process.
With that time, it's time to dig in.
These ribs have been kissed with smoke and are ready to eat.
You heard the man, let's eat.
Cheers.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
You can definitely tell there's smoky flavor to it.
Kind of buttery almost when you bite into it. It's just really, really juicy and tender and really, really good.
It's got that pink to it and it has a little bit of white in the middle. It makes it so good.
Literally, falls off the bone.
You can't make this up. You see the bowl? You didn't see any utensils. You didn't see anything else. You just saw picking it up, meat and both.
Oh, right on.
Delicious.
And the grease is what's so good. It gets all over you. That's how you know you have a good rib.
Craig's barbecue skills are beyond next level. There's no meat he can't make better with his smoker sorcery.
This is about the biggest, baddest, smokiest wing that you're ever going to find.
Who takes the time to smoke chicken wings? A true barbecue visionary, that's who.
For a barbecue joint, I've been voted best wings in town 3 times.
This is like 3 normal chicken wings.
Go for it. Come on, man. I'll get you some towels. Once you do put them in your mouth, you're ruined for the rest of your life. You won't be able to eat wings anywhere else. Wow.
Even if wings aren't normally your thing, you gotta try these big, bold flappers.
These wings are so huge that there's parts of wings I've never seen before in here. But I'm okay with that.
That flavor really penetrates the wing. You can tell once they smoked it, the flavor just started to kind of penetrate all the way down to the bone. And you don't get that with a lot of wings. A lot of times the flavor's on the outside and never makes it onto the inside, and that's what makes it really unique.
Memphis barbecue is normally all about dry rub marinades, but for his smoked wings, Craig makes an exception. That's what makes them so exceptional.
The first thing you're going to need to do is marinate them with a Louisiana-style hot sauce for about 24 to 48 hours. These bad boys been marinating for 48 hours, and now they're ready to see the smoke. They're going to be in here for about 2.5 hours at approximately 250 degrees. We're going to hit them real hard with the smoke being hickory and pecan mix.
Normally, if your chicken is pink on the inside, that's an invitation to the salmonella ball. But here, it's nothing but flavor.
And as you can see, there's a nice smoke ring on them. That pink is from the smoke. My wings are so good, you could even eat the bone.
After smoking, the wings get crisped up and finished off in the fryer, but not before getting one final flavor boost. You can pick traditional buffalo sauce, tangy honey gold, a dry Jamaican jerk rub, or Craig's favorite, sweet heat.
Which is that same honey gold that I've added dried Chinese red pepper and dried habanero pepper to it. So you get the sweet, tangy start and a real hot finish. This is so hot it'll melt your face off.
This is next level heat right here. I can't handle it. It's too much for me.
What keeps Central on top of the Memphis meat pyramid is they've mastered the classics, but they're not afraid to take barbecue to new places. Pulled pork nachos, anyone?
The cheese tastes really good with the barbecue sauce together.
The pork is just perfect. I mean, there's a reason they get voted the best every year.
The beauty is in the simplicity. Chief Nacho Tech Duran Rogers starts with a basket full of homemade tortilla chips, hand-pulled pork, and some of Central's sweet Maui-style barbecue sauce. Then what happens?
After I sauce it up, come over here by the nacho cheese machine. That's what it is. Nacho cheese, but my cheese.
Pretty cheesy if it ends there, but wait, there's more.
Come back over here, sprinkle a little bit of the shredded cheese on top. If you got HD, I bet you can see all the shredded cheese melting on there. Put a little bit of jalapenos on there. Then I just kick it with a little shake. Homemade style from Central Barbecue.
So messy. I know, we need more napkins.
While some Memphis eateries take themselves a little too seriously, Central puts the fun back into barbecue fundamentals. Memphis may be the place to pig out on pork, but that's not how they do it in Houston. Where the secret word is big, as in big portions, big smoky flavors, and big helpings of family hospitality. That's the winning formula for this gem of a spot on West 19th Street, Gatlin's Barbecue.
You're at Gatlin's Barbecue. You're in the, I call it the Love Shack.
Owner Greg Gatlin and his family serve up what many consider the finest example of true Texas barbecue. Lip-smacking slices of smoky beef brisket.
Here in Texas, it's all about the beef, babe.
Greg's got his pops helping out with the smoker, and his mother Mary running the front of the house.
Did you enjoy? Absolutely.
Okay. Imagine her pride when Greg announced in 2010 he was giving up his lucrative corporate career to open a barbecue joint.
Can you imagine what this mama said? Have you lost your mind?
But Gatlin's Barbecue took off like wildfire, and where there's fire, there's smoke. The secret ingredient to Gatlin's beloved brisket.
A lot of people think about barbecue as being the sauce, but here in Texas, if it doesn't have wood flavor in it, it's not barbecue.
At Gatlin's, they use mostly oak for smoke, with just a touch of hickory for sweetness.
You can see right here on the smoke ring right here, that's the bark. That can tell that it was in a smoker, low and slow, 225, maybe 220. That's why it's delicious. So low and slow is the way to go.
Attention to detail is what sets Gatlin's apart from all the wannabes. Greg expertly carves off just the right amount of fat to render down into juicy goodness.
When you think about it, you are carving your masterpiece. It's going to be something of beauty when it hits your tongue, man.
With the excess flab in check, it's time to boost up that flavor.
You don't want to be shy with it, because it's a big piece of meat. You want to get in here, just go ahead and rub it in. Get as much as you can get on there.
Gatlin's dry rub features salt and granulated garlic, but it's the fresh ground black pepper that really helps create the crunchy outer skin known as the bark. And the bark is the best thing to bite.
Here we are, and we're ready to cook. There we go.
So now you know how to make award-winning Texas-style beef brisket. Let's review. A little cut, a little rub, some smoky, and a mere 14 to 18 hours later, behold.
Oh, God. Perfect. I think we nailed it, guys.
Every young man in the family knows how to barbecue, but with Gregory, there's a passion.
It's amazing. It just falls apart like you wouldn't believe.
The bark is outstanding, really crispy and smoky.
We're gonna peel that bark back right there. We've got that nice little smoke ring.
This right here is the Shrine Beacon of Tradition Barbecue.
As strong as their beef brisket is, you better believe Gatlin's pork game is on point too. And wait till you see their Texas-sized sandwich, crammed with every flavor of the barbecue rainbow.
This is how we do it in Texas.
We've been working hard at an unprecedented pace, connecting more people across America and making our 5G network bigger and faster. The hard work is paying off. And we're just getting started.
T-Mobile is upgrading its network at a record pace. We were the first to bring 5G nationwide. And now that Sprint is a part of T-Mobile, we're turning up the speed, upgrading over 1,000 towers a month with ultra-capacity 5G to bring speeds as fast as Wi-Fi to cities and towns across America. And we're adding more every week. Coverage and speed. Who says you can't have it all?
Texas has long been our nation's barbecue beef capital, and you won't find brisket any better than at Gatlin's Barbecue in the Houston Heights neighborhood. But owner Greg Gatlin played a little Division I football at nearby Rice University, so he knows how to handle the pigskin too. We're talking pork ribs.
pork can have a tendency to dry out, so that way we're going to use a little more wet to combo with our dry rubs here.
After the wet comes more dry seasoning. That doesn't get rubbed into the pork, it's more of a friendly pat.
I can do this all day long.
Looks like it's gonna be good. But with pork, the proof is in the pulling.
Just all right off the bone right there.
Try it without the barbecue because the smoke is really good.
It's an indescribable flavor of smoke.
And it's truly legit. This is legitimate barbecue. I love it. It's like a Neapolitan ice cream barbecue wrap right here. You see that? All the different flavors, the smoke got in there, and I'm gonna enjoy this bite right here.
A guy can work up a powerful appetite, making people's meatiest dreams come true. So what does Greg make for himself when he gets hungry? It's kind of a secret, but I'll give you a hint. It's a sandwich with everything but the kitchen sink.
This is how we do it in Texas.
You gotta know about it. Order it.
The kitchen sink sandwich is a big scoop of Miss Mary's dirty rice, hearty hunks of barky brisket, man-sized slices of smoky links, mounds of shredded cheddar, peppers, onions, and just a drizzle of their tangy, warm, vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
How's that drizzle? Oh. Boom.
It's like a 3-meat combo on a sandwich. It's outstanding.
When it comes to great barbecue, Houston, you have no problem. Gatlin's is the spot.
Barbecue in Texas, it's a religion. It's not just something we do.
I've already had my barbecue fix for the weekend, so don't need to test everything else to find what's the best, that's for sure.
From America's beef capital, it's just a bone's throw away to barbecue chicken country, northern Alabama, where they braise their birds in a unique and tangy white sauce. Big Bob Gibson's in Decatur sealed their place in barbecue history when Big Bob himself invented the sauce more than 85 years ago.
Big Bob Gibson lived out in the country. He was a big character. He was like 6'4", weighed about 300 pounds, charismatic. People from town came out because they heard about his barbecue. And then eventually he went from his backyard and moved to town and started selling barbecue out of a little small shack.
From when he began in his backyard until the time he opened his first restaurant, Big Bob had two things, and two things only on his menu: smoked pork shoulder and barbecue chicken with that one-of-a-kind tangy white sauce. These days, the menu has expanded, but Chris Lilly, who married into the family biz, serves up a bit of Gibson history every day.
Our barbecue white sauce is a North Alabama staple. It is one of Big Bob Gibson's original barbecue sauces we've been serving since 1925.
It tastes very vinegary and peppery. And it's not real spicy, it's just right.
People take barbecue very, very serious, and they come in and they see the white barbecue sauce, they're absolutely shocked. But I tell you what, once they try it, they're gonna be back.
You taste the smokiness of the chicken. It's fantastic. And that sauce has that bit of a spice, and it really complements the chicken well.
The chickens start out on modern versions of Big Bob's original backyard brick pits.
All we did was salt them at first, but now it's time to put a little oil-based marinade on the chickens and flip them over. These chickens stay on the pit for about 3 hours. So unless you dip them in this marinade, the chickens will tend to dry out. This ensures a juicy, moist chicken for our customers. The second step of the chicken is not completely finished. For that, we not only dip and flip, but we pepper the bellies. This is a fresh cracked black pepper. It will broadcast over the chickens. It's only now that the chickens are ready for their second stage of cooking.
That second stage lasts for 3 more hours. Now it's time to anoint these heavenly birds. Enter ye the kingdom of moistness.
Well, now the skin is just crisp and brown, and it is ready to be baptized in the vat of white sauce. It can go to the table.
The white sauce is a tangy combo of mayo, vinegar, lemon juice, horseradish, spices, and a whole lot of love.
The sauce has a little bit of creaminess and a little bit of vinegar, and I love the tartness of it, and it just makes the chicken flavor even better. It's magic, is what it is.
Between the smokiness and the meat, and then the taste of that white sauce, it just does something to me.
What did it do to you?
I can't tell you that.
If that chicken does something to you, then meet another Big Bob Gibson superstar, his St. Louis spare ribs.
You know, there's a couple different kinds of ribs that are served in barbecue restaurants. The St. Louis cut spare rib and also the baby back rib. For me, the spare rib actually has more flavor. There's a little more fat content, so you can pull a lot more flavor with the dry rub and the smoked flavor.
The ribs are coated with Big Bob's award-winning rub that includes sugar, salt, 3 kinds of pepper, onion, and garlic powder, along with coriander and cumin.
This particular recipe was not Big Bob Gibson's original. This is one we developed through competition cooking.
That's right. Before Chris introduces customers to any new rubs or sauces, they're all battle tested.
You know, Big Bob Gibson's has a very successful competition barbecue.
Those ribs with their award-winning take a nap in the pit for about 4 hours. Finally, they're mopped down with the sticky richness of Bob's to make tomato-based red sauce full of molasses, honey, maple syrup, and vinegar.
This is some good barbecue.
It's good and plump, a little bit of tang, but a little bit of sweet. It's very good.
Finally looking good.
And speaking of messy, did we mention Big Bob's baked potatoes?
I didn't know you made potatoes big. This is the biggest potato I've ever seen.
This is what we serve here. They're over 1.5 pounds a piece before we put any butter, cheese, chalk, or our barbecue on there.
That's right, a little butter, sour cream, chives, and a 1/4 pound of their original slow-cooked shoulder are piled high on this colossal spot.
Here it is, our famous Big Bob Gibson baked barbecue potato, the biggest potato on either side of the Mississippi.
And it's just so tender, the meat just falls apart.
Big as a football.
For real? How big is it?
It's big.
You can't even get to the potato, there's so much meat.
There's a lot of barbecue places in Alabama, and this is one of the best ones I've ever had. Can I eat now?
From deep in the heart of Dixie to Sin City, high rollers who know barbecue roll into Rollin' Smoke, where a pair of Arkansas brothers are stopping traffic with their smoker sorcery.
We're just bringing a little south to Vegas, you know, let everybody try that good southern barbecue that we got.
It ain't easy to stand out amongst all the glitz, unless you're dealing out succulent beef brisket meatloaf.
This meatloaf is so much better than my mom used to make.
Or a barbecue burger as tall as the stratosphere.
I've never had a burger that's got smoked beef and ground beef in it together. It's amazing.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. The only one from America's most reliable network. We designed our 5G to make the things you do every day better. With 5G nationwide, millions of people can now work, listen, and stream in Verizon 5G quality. And in parts of many cities where people can use massive capacity, we have ultra-wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. This is the 5G that's built for you. This is 5G built right, only from Verizon.
Is your cleanser doing enough for your sensitive skin? Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser defends against 5 signs of skin sensitivity and actively hydrates as it cleanses. Cetaphil, dermatologist recommended complete care for your sensitive skin. At Chewy, we know the only thing that changes when bringing home a new pet is everything. And we're here with everything to help you on that journey. We've got toys, treats and food, even prescriptions delivered right to your door. Save on all your pet essentials at Chewy.
The rule in Vegas is you roll your dice and you take your chances. But there's one sure bet in this town. It's the barbecue meatloaf being served up at Rollin' Smoke, a hole in the wall, just off the strip. This barbecue twist on a down-home dish is the brainchild of 2 brothers from Arkansas, bringing authentic Southern Q to Sin City.
You know, we're just bringing a little south to Vegas, you know, let everybody try that good southern barbecue that we got.
The team cooks up Arkansas barbecue, which simply put is a mishmash of barbecue styles from around the country, all stitched together in one crazy quilt of flavor. And what could be more delicious than an oversized smoky hunk of barbecued meatloaf? Just ask Pitmaster Dusty.
This is my best people back home in Arkansas. When my brother got crazy, he decided he wanted to do a little pioneering, and so now it's first of its kind.
Like many good meatloaves, this one starts with a mixture of ground beef and pork. From there, we venture into uncharted territory.
Right now, I'm going to grab the brisket that's been smoked on hickory wood for about 16 hours.
These good old boys don't leave well enough alone. They also add a generous portion of smoked pork. It's a gamble that paid off.
So now when you take a bite of this meatloaf, you're going to go, is that pulled pork? Yes, it is. It's smoky goodness, pulled pork right here.
Dusty also throws in diced onion and green pepper. And their ace in the hole, their homemade rub.
It's got a little bit of paprika, cayenne, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I wish I could tell you everything, but it's our recipe. Last but not least, this is going to be our sauce, the secret recipe. And this is where you really put the south in your mouth.
Then the meatloaf is panned up and put in the smoker. After that, it's sliced into thick, manly slabs.
Oh yeah, exactly what you're looking for. It's going to be just like the ribs, your brisket and pork. Nice bark, nice flavor, and great smoke.
Dusty lays down a king-size bed of fluffy mashed potatoes, which serves as a buttery, bacony foundation for the majestic motherlode of loaf. Then it's garnished with a little secret sauce for tang and crunchy onion strings for texture.
And there you go, Mama's smoked meatloaf at its finest.
This is delicious. But you can definitely taste the meat, and it's very smoky. And then it has mashed potatoes underneath. The mashed potatoes are kind of sweet, so it's like the perfect combination.
That may be the best freaking meatloaf I've ever had.
Not dry at all. Absolutely delicious.
Instead of ketchup, they use barbecue sauce, and you can really taste it. It adds to the taste, it adds to the smoke flavor, and it's really good. It's really different.
So I bet right about now you're feeling pretty lucky as far as good eating goes. Ready to double down? Then meet Chef Tim and his monster creation, the Outlaw Burger.
All right, we're making an outlaw burger. We're putting the backyard barbecue into the burger.
The first step to making this beefy behemoth is getting some green peppers and red onions sweating in a saute pan.
Yeah!
Those are added to criminally insane amounts of Wagyu beef. And now it's time to inject the barbecue into this burger.
See this nice juicy brisket right here? The juice is flowing right out of there. That's how we do it in rolling smoke. Yeah, baby. Next, I'm going to add my wet ingredients, barbecue sauce, some Worcestershire, and some other secret ingredients that we use to put in here.
A healthy dose of that secret rub is tossed in, along with a few eggs to hold it all together.
We smoke this burger low and slow at 225 for 30 minutes.
Half an hour later, and Tim is ready to stack the deck.
I'm gonna place them on the grill, with some nice char marks on there.
He piles on thick slices of cheddar, fresh lettuce, juicy tomato, a festive fistful of purple slaw, crispy onion strings, and a little something to keep the tower from toppling over.
Now we're gonna stab this outlaw with the cherry peppers and the pickles. We're gonna finish it off. And like I said before, it stands over 15 inches tall, and it's damn good.
This burger is so big to turn and watch people come in trying to eat the outlaw burger. It's just amazing. They're like, what do I do with it?
I ordered the outlaw burger and I wear gloves to eat it. This is the best barbecue in Vegas. Now I'm gonna have to use the wet knife.
This is absolutely a two-hand burger, and it's probably gonna be a mess.
You can do it.
That's damn good. Very good, Doctor.
This isn't what you expect from Vegas, but boy, it's authentic. It feels like the real McCoy. It's awesome.
Real Southern barbecue. It's cooked on a wood pit. Low and slow, baby.
Never been in the South, but this makes me want to go.
When you do go down south, be sure to pack some extra napkins, because some of that Carolina barbecue gets pretty saucy, especially in Lexington, where the Monk family's been serving it up the same way for over 50 years.
People say if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, that's the way we're doing things.
There's nothing like it. Been coming here for 30 years, and I will continue to come back.
And you'll be back too, for more of this tender, juicy pork shoulder.
It's the season to get out there and take on the day. Wake up refreshed and ready for spring with a new mattress from Ashley Home Store during the big deal event, like Sealy mattresses starting at just $99 at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
T-Mobile is upgrading its network at a record pace. We were the first to bring 5G nationwide. And now that Sprint is a part of T-Mobile, we're turning up the speed. Upgrading over 1,000 towers a month with ultra-capacity 5G to bring speeds as fast as Wi-Fi to cities and towns across America. And we're adding more every week. Coverage and speed. Who says you can't have it all?
We've been working hard at an unprecedented pace, connecting more people across America and making our 5G network bigger and faster. The hard work is paying off. And we're just getting started.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. Enter for your chance to win a 2021 Infiniti Q60 Lux or your share of $20,000 in free slot play. Earn entries now through May 1st, only at L'Auberge Baton Rouge.
We believe in the power of helping hands, covering every detail, making space for everyone, teamwork that works, so you can find ways to stay close. We believe in always taking care.
Even the smallest surprise can make a big memory worthy of passing on. Kinder Joy. Treat plus toy. A little surprise goes a long way.
The Carolinas are home to no fewer than 5 distinct styles of regional barbecue, but the best might just be found in Lexington, North Carolina, the mecca of slow-smoked tomato-laced pork shoulder, known as Western style. Each day here at Lexington Barbecue begins with owner Rick Monk and his trusty pitmaster preparing over a half-ton of pork shoulder. Their motto, keep it simple.
This is really true Western style barbecue. Using marinade. All we do is put a small base of salt on this shoulder right here.
But simple does not mean easy. It takes a trusty shovel to keep the hickory coals burning just right.
We use oak and hickory wood, shovel coals down about the size of a nickel or a dime, and spread them evenly out under here.
The pork is packed in shoulder to shoulder for a 9 to 10 hour smoke.
What makes it special is it's the old-fashioned way. The hickory flavor as the grease gets fat and falls down on the coal.
Meanwhile, it's sauce making time.
Most of your places have a very thick, almost gooier barbecue sauce. Ours is very thin. It falls through the meat. It just saturates it, through the bottom of it there. I do not want to hide the taste of the meat. I just want to enhance what you're getting ready to eat into.
Rick starts with the dry ingredients. Salt, red pepper, black pepper, not really reinventing the wheel yet.
All right, next thing I like to do, I start adding all my wet ingredients. What I do here, I have my vinegar. This is a very mild vinegar. I'm not going to tell you what kind it is. It's a secret for what we like to use in our sauces.
The next ingredient is what sets Lexington sauce apart from other Carolina sauces.
I have my favorite kind of ketchup. I use my ketchup according to the sugar content in it.
It's simple, but it wouldn't be Lexington barbecue without it.
You know, I'm from eastern North Carolina, and the barbecue's different there, but eastern style has more vinegar, where this has a little bit of that tomato ketchup base to it, so it gives a little extra tang.
But I prefer the Western style barbecue. I'm slowly trying to educate them what barbecue is over there.
But no one's going to get any learning done if we don't get them shoulders out the smoker.
The most popular style barbecue here we sell is a chopped barbecue sandwich. Above here is going to be chopping meat up, putting it on the bun.
The chopped sandwich mixes white and dark meats, but you can also choose a brown chop.
I love the brown. I love the brown recipe.
or a brown coarse chop.
It's gonna be cubes like little squares of meat. And a lot of men like the big chunks of meat, instead of having it chopped, it's all a little bit more soft, they want the big chunks of it in their mouth.
I mean, that's just as good as it gets.
Any way you chop it, all the sandwiches come with the sauce and a healthy scoop of slaw, which gets its color and flavor for more of that Lexington-style sauce.
You gotta have the slaw, because without the slaw, you have nothing.
The slaw has some tang to it. You have a little bit of heat from the sauce. It's a tasty sandwich.
It's so simple, but it's complicated. But I love it.
Another item to add to your barbecue bucket list. If you haven't had Lexington style yet, don't worry, there's still time to catch up. Face it, people get weird when it comes to their barbecue, especially in the capital of weird, Austin, Texas. So naturally, their favorite barbecue spot is way off the beaten path, on a sleepy cul-de-sac. By a pair of second-hand trailers, the line forms early.
All right, everybody, we're open.
Oh, they seem friendly now. Just don't keep them waiting too long for their meat. Specifically, longhorn-sized beef ribs and fresh andouille sausage. Conjured up by the Pied Piper of protein pyrotechnics, Tom Micklethwait.
I cook in that trailer, and I smoke meat in this one, and blah, 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 blah. What else?
Tom went from being a punk rock musician, to a florist, to a butcher shop assistant, to finally a barbecue entrepreneur. In Austin, that's known as a traditional career path.
The obsession of barbecue. It's obsession that just grows and festers. I don't know, that's not a good word. It's a festering passion.
The dish that put Micklethwait's on the map is the award-winning beef ribs. Dang, look at the size of those things.
Each rib weighs about 2 pounds. See, it's about as big as my arm.
The beef rib is, I think, quintessential to Texas because it's just so big. I mean, pork rib, beef rib. I mean, it's just amazing.
This is a badass rib.
These are definitely the ribs that Fred and Barney will be cooking up. These will flip a car over.
Let's get our dry rub working. We'll need lots of pepper, some dark chili powder, chili flakes, onion, garlic, freshly ground mustard seeds, a pinch of mace just to let you know you're alive, and a little coriander for that citrusy zing. All on a foundation of salt. And that's how you prep a local legend.
These are the ribs that won the Austin Chronicle Beef Rib Smackdown. It took a couple days for the victory to really sink in.
Now it's into the smoker.
Beef ribs are seasoned or ready to go. We're going to put them in the smoker for 12 hours. When we take them out, they will be juicy, succulent, unctuous, dripping with flavor, and absolutely delicious.
People don't realize how much labor goes into this. It's really absurd. Like, someone has to be here pretty much all hours of the day. The fire's going to be running all night.
12 hours later, all the hard work pays off. With smoke flavors so bold, not only can you taste it, you can actually see how it penetrated the meat.
This is the smoke ring. What that should be about a quarter of an inch. It should be like a crimson, like nice dark color.
More delicious than mere words can capture.
I ordered the largest piece of meat I've ever seen in my life.
The fat just melts in your mouth. It's smoky. The bark on the outside, man, that thing is a fantastic rib.
It's delicious and juicy. We're actually from New York City, and you cannot get meat like this at all.
The test of a true marriage is if you can go through and share this without having a fight. Because I could have a whole thing completely by myself.
Oh my gosh, it just comes right off. It's amazing.
We're gonna have counseling for this.
If you think Micklethwait's beef ribs are bombastic, wait till you see what he does with sausage.
T-Mobile is upgrading its network at a record pace. We were the first to bring 5G nationwide. And now that Sprint is a part of T-Mobile, we're turning up the speed, upgrading over 1,000 towers a month with ultra-capacity 5G to bring speeds as fast as Wi-Fi to cities and towns across America. And we're adding more every week. Coverage and speed. Who says you can't have it all?
We've been working hard at an unprecedented pace, connecting more people across America and making our 5G network bigger and faster. The hard work is paying off. And we're just getting started.
It's the season to get out there and take on the day. Wake up refreshed and ready for spring with a new mattress from Ashley Home Store during the big deal event. Like Sealy mattresses starting at just $99 at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
With capability like no other and technology like no other, it's no wonder the Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV ever. Get great deals like this on our best-selling models during the Jeep Celebration event.
We told you how Austin, Texas barbecue mogul Tom Mickelwaite is proud of his big beef rib prowess, but the thing that brings him the most joy is making sausage.
This is some fresh pork belly, which we're using to make our house-made andouille sausage.
Pork belly is of course usually used to make bacon, but one bite of this Cajun-inspired treat, and you'll be like, bacon who? Tom splays it out all nice and pretty, and then rains down a whole rack's worth of spices. Salt, black pepper, fresh garlic, homemade mustard, chili flakes, sweet Spanish paprika, marjoram, sage, and gumbo filet.
It is a signature flavor of andouille sausage. It's bay leaf, dry thyme, and sassafras root. Get all the spices in, all the garlic, we're ready to mix it up and grind it.
I've always heard it's best not to see how the sausage is made, but the process is oddly hypnotic. That all-natural casing holds in the juices and gives you a nice snap on every bite. Those get sectioned off and then parked in the smoker. And in just a few short hours, the flavor will be so intense, it will cause otherwise normal folks to rethink major life decisions.
Oh, wow. We're gonna be late for our flight.
You know what? If we're going to miss a flight, this may be a good reason.
The casing has a little bit of snap to it. It's not greasy on the inside.
The smoke, you can taste it.
Oh, Mickelwaite's is the first place where I stopped on my vacation for barbecue, and definitely don't need to go anywhere else.
Around here, barbecue is so much more than just food. It's part of your identity and a source of spiritual fulfillment.
That first bite, you get this magic tingle. When you pop it in your mouth, the bark, the salt, and the rub, and the smoke, and the moisture of the fat that's rendered down, it's just kind of a shock wave of just deliciousness. And it just travels from top to bottom, all the way to your toes, literally.
What do you do if you love barbecue and you love Mexican? You combine them. What else? That's what they do at Village Tavern in the LA hipster enclave of Badwater Village. Feast your eyes on the barbecue pulled pork burrito, the brainchild of Chef Marcel Faruqi.
I came up mixing barbecue because I was just a barbecue fanatic, but I love Mexican food. And one day I just said, let's just put them together. What the hell?
It's like, okay, no, awesomeness and deliciousness in your mouth.
Like a street taco, except in a bar atmosphere.
The idea for the Mexi Barbecue mashup started with Marcel's food truck, Stop Rock and Roll. Restaurant owner and future partner Maurice was a huge fan of the truck and hit up Marcel to run the kitchen at his new restaurant, Village Tavern.
This is so unique. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it's traditional American barbecue fused with Mexican food, so to me it was just like a no-brainer.
It was a gastro mashup made in food nerd heaven. But the thing that takes this burrito out of Mexico and into barbecue territory? The smoked pork shoulder.
Every barbecue smokehouse has their own rub. Mine is very heavy on brown sugar. Really caramelizes the meat and adds this really nice, deep, sweet flavor.
Marcel mixes that up with sweet paprika, pepper, garlic powder, cayenne for a little kick, dried mustard, ground oregano, and cumin. Then he gets a good workout as he rubs the spice mix into the pork. Grr.
So after you start rubbing this pork with all your rub, you'll know when you're really done. Once you get a good amount of caramelizing on your hands with the sugar. This paste is where the gold's at. This is what you want from your meat. So now we have this pork butt rub. He has it home waiting for him in the smoker.
While that big old shoulder smokes low and slow for 12 hours, Marcel whips up his Mexican barbecue sauce, or is that barbecue salsa?
I took the best barbecue sauce I could possibly make, I added the best salsa, and now I have a barbecue salsa per se, and I call it chili Q.
Marcel blends 5 chilies together, dried chili or bowl, to give the chili Q its kick. Guajilos, to balance out the spice and give the sauce some sweetness, along with ancho chilies, jalapenos, and serranos.
Each chili has their own taste, but it's really when you blend and combine them that it creates that one magic chili.
All that spicy magic then goes into a ketchup-based sauce with some garlic and onion. Marcel then combines brown sugar and vinegar together and adds them to the sauce, because what's spicy without sweet and sour? Then some Worcestershire and OJ are added for good measure.
Finally, I'm gonna add some spices. I've come up with a bunch of different spices that I like.
The spices are the best of both barbecue and Mexican dishes.
We're gonna let this simmer on low for roughly 4 to 5 hours. Without this sauce, there's no Mexican barbecue. Oh yeah, that's the one.
12 hours later, that shoulder is done smoking and falling apart. And now it's ready to get married with the chili Q sauce, a match made in Mexi Barbie heaven.
And as you can see right now on the flip side, this pork got a nice, beautiful, beautiful crust of chili Q.
Marcel wraps the barbecue pork in a flour tortilla and tops it with a Mexican-inspired lime cilantro coleslaw, pico de gallo, and guacamole sauce.
Oh my god.
Wow.
The barbecue is off the pork, it just seeps through, and then you have the chili Q that just mouth-watering.
There's so many layers to it. Like there's different flavors, and they each taste differently.
It's not your typical burrito. It's nice and juicy. You can taste all the flavors.
It's just the right amount of spicy, tangy, sweet to it.
It's just perfect.
But if burritos ain't your thing, you have options on how to eat your Q. Marcel also offers up Mexican barbecue tacos, tortas, and nachos.
It's got a zing to it, though. It's different.
It's supposed to be Mexican barbecue, and I just know it tastes amazing.
Anybody visiting the Outwater Village Tavern deserves to have this great taste. It's so good.
One last stop on our buffet of American regional barbecue powerhouses, Kansas City, Missouri, to partake in some tasty burnt offerings.
Antibacterial or moisturizing body wash? Definitely moisturizer.
Antibacterial.
Kind of both. New Dove Care and Protect body wash eliminates 99% of bacteria and moisturizes for hours.
2 for 1. Go do it.
New Dove Care and Protect. Zero compromise.
Even the smallest surprise can make a big memory worthy of passing on. Kinder Joy. Treat plus toy. A little surprise goes a long way. Hands dry from washing?
Definitely. Right here.
Yes.
That's me.
Introducing new Dove Hand Wash with 5 times moisturizer blend. Removes germs in seconds. Moisturizes for hours.
Soft, smooth.
New Dove Hand Wash.
The Kansas City area is another of America's big regional barbecue powerhouses. Experts say the finest example of Kansas City barbecue is not in the 816 proper, but just on the outskirts in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, at a place called Wabash.
We opened in August of 1997. I had 0 restaurant experience, learned a lot. It's been quite a ride.
Co-owner Mitchell T. Dickey taught himself well, because this refurbished old railroad depot is your main stop on the Flavor Express.
I'm retired from the railroad, and to have my passion for railroad and a passion for barbecue all in one place, can't beat it.
What really keeps folks coming back is a local delicacy from the farthest reaches of a beef brisket, burnt ends.
I love the burnt ends here. They're so yummy and tasty. They've got good flavor. They're smoky, but not too overpowering.
So what are burnt ends? Imagine a brisket was a loaf of unsliced bread. Burnt ends are the heels, the part with the best delicious bark to meat or crust to bread ratio. Making them is a lengthy process that starts out in the smokehouse, where Pitmaster Donnie stokes the smoker.
This is hickory wood. It has that distinct flavor in it, especially with the apple wood. And it just gives off a certain flavor that you just can't beat with those pelt stoves that they use in the bigger cities.
Then they start working in the rub. The exact ingredients? That's a secret. There's salt, garlic, some Cajun spice. Trust me, you'd love it.
The love's in the rub.
Brisket comes from the shoulder of the cow, and it's one of the toughest cuts of meat there is. But 16 or so hours in the low heat of the smoker renders it perfectly tender and coated in crispy, mouth-watering bark.
Char a little bit on the outside, deep dish on the inside, really, really yummy.
You have to have the combo of the char and the soft tender meat, otherwise it's not a burn end.
But at Wabash, the ends are just the beginning. For a true taste of KC magic, you gotta get the ribs. The meat doesn't just fall off the bone, it practically leaps off.
Look at that. That is what I'm talking about right there.
It just melt right in your mouth, just like eating pudding. Don't have to have I don't have any idea, but it works for me.
The secret is Wabash's patented process. After 4 or 5 hours, Mitchell wraps them in foil to lock in the juices, then sticks them back in. For how long? That depends. You smoke her. She is a mysterious mistress.
Oh, it all depends. Anywhere from 30 minutes to 45. Oh, look at that. That's what it's all about right there. Just fall off the bone.
It's like love. When it's right, you know it. And these babies are right. Whether you're into pork or beef, dry or sauced, sweet or savory. At this old train station, they're all aboard. How do you even put a price on flavor like that? Let's ask these professional auctioneers.
Start at $1 million and go up. 25, 30, now 35, 30, 40, now 80 to 90, sold to 80, sold.
Barbecue, like the people who enjoy it, comes in all shapes and sizes, united by a common love of flame-kissed meat. And despite the differences, we all wipe our mouths one napkin at a time.
Wait, I don't want to do Hamburger Paradise 3. I'm going to exit the Philo app now. Let's see how many videos I have on YouTube now. They do that a lot because I'm monetized.
Live on YouTube. I'm still in my bedroom using my iPhone to record videos because I'm using my iPhone.
According to Vin, did a video 7 hours ago.
I've got some empty baskets, but I'm going to show you guys what they're going to be filled with. Hey guys, if you are new, my name is Vanessa.
I just subbed a new channel. Okay, I'm gonna end this live stream now. And I even gave the video a thumbs up. It was a good video. It was 226 minutes, 12 seconds.